The following episode has been heavily censored with parts redacted due to the unsettling, controversial topics discussed and the naughty words that were used. However, if you want the full, unedited, ad-free version of the podcast, it's on our Patreon. It's linked at the top of the description below. Enjoy the show. Is that true? Do black people think that the Holocaust didn't happen?
I don't think most black people care.
Oh, I don't think so either.
black people are probably 90% of black people have a very negative view of Jews.
Really? Well, especially Kanye. He's one of them. I actually know he just took it back the other day. I saw that you tried to talk him off the ledge. You interviewed him and tried to convince him not to be an anti-Semite.
Yeah, that went great. That was a smash hit.
I couldn't get past the first 10 minutes.
It's a good interview. You should watch it. It's funny.
Have you ever heard? I was just talking to.
Are we live? Yeah. I mean, are we recording?
We're recording.
Okay,
yeah,
this is it. This is the show.
Yeah, this is the show. There's this dude. There's this documentary that Hamilton Morris's dad did called Mr. Death. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
That rings a bell. Yeah.
It's a film about a guy who his dad worked for the Bureau of Prisons and the electric chair broke, and they needed somebody to fix the electric chair. So they told this guy's dad, like, go find some electrician to fix the electric chair so we can keep killing people or whatever, because we don't have much time. And he took it home, and then his teenage kid was tinkering around in the garage and like fixed it, unbeknownst to him. And he came downstairs, he's like, "Dad, I fixed the electric chair." And they brought it back to the prison and it worked. And then the prison's like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. We want to hire your son to fix all the electric chairs across the country." And then eventually they started hiring him to develop new ways to execute people that weren't like, because a lot of people were getting electrocuted and not dying. They were just like getting turned into vegetables. Mm-hmm. And then he eventually invented gas chambers. Then he developed.
What year is this?
I don't know. You'd have to look it up.
Like pre-World War II or recently?
No, this is not. This is after World War II. I want to say this is in like the 70s.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but it's right around there. And then he invented the lethal injection stuff and all these crazy ways of executing people. And they called him, the name of the documentary is Mr. Death. And eventually there's this guy, I'm sure you're familiar with him, Zundel. This guy who went through the Holocaust denier. Yeah. So Zundel found out about this guy and found out he was building gas chambers for the prisons and used him and convinced him to testify for him in court to prove that the gas chambers in Auschwitz and all across Germany and Poland.
We're really diving into it.
Yeah. And convinced them and use him as like an expert witness who had no training in any of this shit and just figured it out as he was going, that they didn't work. There's no way those gas chambers would have worked. Anyways, it's just
before we started the show, I was doing a joke about saying the most offensive thing possible.
Yes.
And using the N-word and Holocaust. But here on the live show, or the real show, we're actually discussing whether the Holocaust happened or not in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, isn't that good? I think it's right on brand.
I don't mind.
So anyways, that was a crazy documentary. You should watch it.
Okay. I mean, are we now discussing the Holocaust, whether it happened or not?
No, it was just an anecdotal thing. I thought you might find interesting.
Kind of that's like talking about whether your mother cheated on your dad or not.
I don't think
we can't just gloss over that.
No, it's just an interesting dive into like this weirdo, this like crazy character.
But it doesn't sound very weird. It sounded like he was an accurate scientist.
No, he wasn't a scientist. He just learned
an accurate electrical engineer.
He wasn't even like trained in electrical engineering. He just like learned. He taught himself.
Huh. You don't want this banned off YouTube?
No, it'll be banned off YouTube.
But your first question is, I saw this documentary about this super smart guy that says the Holocaust never happened.
I called him smart? I don't think I called him smart.
He sounds smart.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, he was kind of an idiot because he got hoodwinked by the Zundel guy.
He fixed an electric chair.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a certain kind of intelligence, right? But he also got hoodwinked by the other guy to convince him to testify.
So how do you feel about the Holocaust?
I mean, I don't deny the Holocaust. I'm not a Holocaust denier. The guy.
How many people you think died?
Well, I don't know. What's the consensus?
6 million is the general consensus.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is not like my expertise or my background. I kind of like whatever the narrative is.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
It's just a weird thing to bring up at the very beginning of an interview.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not mad.
Oh, okay.
But it's like starting an interview with, when do you think a child is viable? You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, dude. I'm totally into any topic you want to talk about, but wow.
Yeah.
That's right out of the gate.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
No, I'll talk about anything.
Okay.
My thing about genocides and holocausts is, and it's not a very popular subject, but I don't really care. Like, Mao killed 80 million.
Right.
So, like, Ernst Sundel is really into going to Auschwitz and checking, like, the Zyklon B and all this stuff.
Right.
So, okay, you're the guy, right? So me, like, getting into Mao's Great Leap Forward and the 80 million that were killed, like, I'd have to go, like, with a Chinese translator and go through all these things. And that's a valid thing to do. You should question all of these horrific mass murders like Pol Pot, Cambodia, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have the time. I mean, I'm so concerned with today.
Yes.
And the massive corruption that goes on and the rewriting of history, like from last week. Like, we're told that the media had no idea Biden was retarded until 3 days ago.
Right.
And you go, no, that's not true. So I'm definitely open to investigating the Holocaust, investigating Pol Pot, investigating the Armenian genocide, investigating all of these horrific genocides. Definitely, sure. If I have extra time, I'm definitely going to get to that. But, like, within the short amount of time I have every day, I'd like to investigate the media's lies about Joe Biden 1 hour ago. And then spread backwards from there.
See, I'm kind of the opposite. I kind of don't give a what's going on in the media today that much.
Really?
Yeah, no.
That's an interesting take.
I feel like...
What's that blue shit in your mouth? What is that?
Oh, it's this stuff. It's called methylene blue.
Is that one of your sponsors?
No. They don't sponsor me, but it's blue gene dye.
As one does.
Yeah.
Ingest blue gene dye.
Yeah, or it could be fish tank cleaner as well.
Okay. All right.
What was I going to say?
So you don't care about what's going on in the news right now?
I not that I don't care. I'm just not as interested because it just feels like a big distraction to keep. Don't you feel that way sometimes? That, like, all the bullshit that you see and all, like, the 30-second clips on all the news media websites and all the little podcast clips that come out about Biden this, Kamala that, Trump this, blah, blah, blah. Like, none of it, like, it's just like, wash your hands and repeat tomorrow, the next thing. Like, we forgot about Trump getting almost assassinated as soon as the Olympic thing came out with all the fat trannies jumping around.
Oh, I didn't forget, motherfucker.
Didn't forget, but most people did.
That's in my frontal lobe.
Don't you think, though, that some of this cultural stuff, this culture war stuff that's happening every single day is just purposely to keep us divided so that whoever is at the top can control us?
Well, it better not be, or I'm out of a job. But my job is to talk about modern culture war shit and how it applies to everything around us. And I mean, you're making me doubt myself, and maybe I should retire. But I think that this is the most important modern culture in the history of America. I mean, outside of the Civil War, in recent history. Like, if Trump didn't win, we were toast. And the fact that Trump won is huge. And now that he's winning, I want to, like, shine a spotlight on the fact that, like, we got the Panama Canal back. This is a big deal. I want to shine a spotlight on detransitioners. These kids who are like, why did you tell me to cut my off?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that. Now, as far as, like, the Armenian genocide, yeah, how many people died in the Armenian genocide? Definitely. Let's check that out at some point. But right now, I want you to know that, you know, schools are still woke. People are still getting canceled. We still haven't won the culture wars. And as Andrew Breitbart said, politics is downstream from the culture. So I want to get, I keep saying on my show, be the culture. Like, if someone is at the airport in a wheelchair and they can walk, go, you can walk. Or at a bar, did you tip? Like, and my wife gets so, I hate these things. Go ahead. Play a video, we'll listen.
All right, yeah, we'll take them off.
But my wife goes like, what are you doing? Why are you getting involved? You're causing a scene. I go, I'm a patriarch. This is a patriarchy. This is my society. So this guy sitting in the wheelchair who isn't paralyzed is my problem. That's my wheelchair. And I was in an argument.
Was this on the Disney cruise you saw this?
That's a different thing.
Okay.
We'll get to that. But there was these Skells at my local bar.
What's that?
Skells is like a crackhead, loser, junkie,
Okay.
piece of shit. Black guy and his fat white girlfriend. And they come in and they want to plug in their phones. And they ask for a water. And I go, no, you're not getting a water. And you're not plugging your phones. And the barmaid is like, this isn't your bar, Gavin. And I go, is it really not my bar? Like, this is my bar I come to. Is your church not your church? This is your church.
Right.
Say someone is like, I don't know, spray painting you fats on your street. That's my street. You're not going to spray paint that on my street.
Right.
So it's my street. It's my bar. It's my church. And it's my airport. Like, I'm in Western society. So you're in a wheelchair in my airport. So be the culture, get involved today. Now, the fact that you seem more interested in the past, I totally respect that. We need historians. But personally, my obsession these days has been like, what are you doing? Why are you wearing Crocs and pajamas at the airport? And the drunker I get, the more I confront them. And that's not good because I'm going to get stabbed.
You've been knocked out, haven't you? Like, you got knocked out during a, what was that? What was that?
I was doing a pilot called The Immersionist. It's a word I invented that's not very sexy. But I'm like, if you're doing journalism, don't sit at your desk Googling. Like, go live with them. Go be them.
Right.
In fact, I saw you have Thomas Morton on your eraser board.
Yeah, because we want to get him on the show.
So he took my concept and made it his career.
How so?
Immersionism. Well, when he started at Vice, he was a very high IQ intern that I knew was good, but had zero testosterone, but was willing to do anything. He'd fight Mike Tyson. That's why we call him Baby Balls, because he had a bottle of ketchup he was going to smash on his head, and everyone was like putting down money to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, can stop. Like, the glass on a ketchup bottle is like an inch thick.
Right.
You're going to cut you're not just going to like get a bloody head. You're going to cut your facial muscles, and you're going to be Jean Chrétien, the Prime Minister of Canada.
You're going to look like the Nazis, the dueling stars.
You're going to be like, they made me smash a bottle of ketchup on my head. And I'm like, stop, dude. And I had to hold the ketchup bottle. And then this dude, Trevor Simser, Andrew WK's manager, goes, that guy's got balls. He's little, but he's got balls. He's Baby Balls. So he became Baby Balls forever. But what I did with Baby Balls, I was like, all right, like Puerto Ricans in New York, major part of New York.
Yeah.
Us upper middle class whites don't really know them. Although I do know, I don't know how raunchy we can get in this show, but
You can get as raunchy as you want. We'll probably censor
the
it so
same
you
guy,
can-
Trevor, and his buddy Mark Ryan, they were like, how come we lived in New York for like 20 years? No one's ever f***ed a Puerto Rican. And they go, let's start f***ing Puerto Ricans. So they go up to them on the train and they're like, hi, my name is Trevor. Hi, my name is Mark. What's your name? And like, yo, I'm f***ing Maria. What's up? And then they cross streams where these cultures weren't meant to be together. So Mark is f***ing one of them, and he feels like something going on. So he fishes his finger in there. He pulls out a condom. He was not wearing a condom.
No time to cook? No problem. Our friends at Huel, today's sponsor, spelled Huel, has you covered with their new Black Edition ready to drink. And it's a total game changer. It's a complete meal in a bottle with 35 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, high fiber, and low sugar, so you feel full, focused, and ready for the day. No prep, no cleanup, just grab and go. Huel has already sold over 500 million meals around the world, and now it's your turn. New customers get 15% off at Huel.com when you use my code Danny. Huel is incredibly affordable, especially when you compare it to fast food alternatives. Plus, you don't have to wait in line. My favorite is the chocolate flavor, and after drinking just one of these things, I really do feel full. It's not a burst of carbs or a protein brick. It's just the perfect balance for me. It was designed by experts to provide all the ingredients your body needs for a meal, and Huel is incredibly affordable. It's cheaper than a burger, and for me, that makes it the perfect choice for a balanced meal on the go. Get 15% off for new customers using my exclusive code DANNY, DANNY, at Huel.com. Please see our description for terms and conditions. Skip the stress, not the nutrition. Try Huel today for complete nutrition bottled. It was still in there.
From another guy.
Oh.
And she's got pigtails and she's chewing gum and she's like this. And he goes, holy shit. And he goes back to work.
Yeah.
But he's like, I just found a condom in there. And she goes, I know, that's bugged out, right? And I'm like, all right, we're not meant to be together. We're very different. So when Baby Balls started at Vice, I go, let's live with these people. So we set up a thing where he lived with like a Puerto Rican family in the project. I think they might have been Dominican, same difference.
Thomas lived
a little
with them?
blacker. Yeah. And, you know, it was a really cool expose on how different these cultures are. Like one thing they do is they don't want roaches. So when they have a pizza, they put it in the sink and then they soak it and then they roll it into a tube and put it in the garbage. Some junkie uncle was there sleeping all day. Anyway, Baby Balls went on to have a pretty good career as an immersionist. And I think that's an important part of like modern culture is like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And we don't do that anymore. We don't know anything about each other, which is why you have this woman where white women like watch these movies where there's a bunch of Klansmen who were like, looky here, boys. This black lady thinks she could be a scientist. Not on my watch. Meanwhile, if there's a black woman that wanted to be a scientist, everyone would be off like, come on in, come on in. Do I sound crazy right now?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Okay, so
White women like to watch.
white women like to watch movies and commercials where black women are geniuses and white men are complete fucking idiots.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like can't put the furniture together, and the black woman comes in and she's like, "It's called an alley key, moron."
Right.
And then that's in their sitcoms and in their soap operas and in their movies.
Yeah, that's how they try to make Hollywood diverse, right?
Right. Like Sinners, the new movie Sinners. It's these magical Negroes who
haven't seen this one.
work with vampires, and then the KKK is like, not on my watch, boy. Which may have been true at some point, but it's not who we are.
Yeah. Did you watch any of the Super Bowl commercials last year? There were some interesting ones.
Yeah, I'm sure I did.
There was the one with Tom Brady and who else was it? It was like an Israeli commercial. It was paid for by Israel, wasn't it?
Are we going back to the Holocaust again? Is this like a
No.
anti-Semitic hit piece?
No, it's not anti-Semitic. What was this commercial? Yeah, play it. What was this? I could be wrong. I might just be projecting my own.
With Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, that's it. No, maybe that's not it. That's it. With yeah, this is it right here. The no hate one. Play this one.
I hate hate.
Put your. Have you seen this?
Hate is one of my pet peeves.
Have you seen this right here? This commercial?
I don't know.
Play it for him.
I hate you because we're from different neighborhoods.
I hate you because you look different.
I hate you because I don't understand you.
I hate you because people I know hate you.
Wait,
I hate
can
you
we
because
just
I
pause it
think you
here?
hate
Yeah, pause it.
So Snoop Dogg is from Compton.
Yes.
Everyone in his community hates everyone else for being from the wrong neighborhood. Chinese, even probably different black neighborhoods.
Right.
So he's mocking that culture. That's his culture. Tom Brady, sorry. His neighborhood masturbates to the concept of any other neighborhood giving a fuck about them. And they would love, like if they went to Harlem and they got high-fived, they would ejaculate in their pants. So this is such horseshit. Snoop Dogg is lampooning this fictional black dude who is him, and Tom Brady is lampooning this dude who's not even remotely close to him. That's the thing that drives me nuts about this crusade against like Christian white heterosexual males. We need to expose their racism because it's latent. I've known a lot of different demographics over the years. They're the least racist group I've ever come across in my life. Maybe to a fault. But like this guy and all his friends, if a black dude showed up to a party, I mean, he might it'd be like the Beatles in 1950. Like he might have his clothes ripped off. But then he's like, I don't like blacks. They totally suck, dude.
Finish playing it. I want to see go to the end of it.
Because I need someone to blame.
Because you talk different.
Because you act different.
Because you're just different.
You're as stupid as they
Man,
say.
I hate that things are so bad
What's
that
on
we
your
have to do
head?
a commercial about it.
Me too. Stand up to hate. Look, paid for by the Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism. Okay, that's why I was right. I'm not
Yeah.
crazy. Take your headphones.
Retarded. You know, the problem with these ADL, SPLC things is like they give Jews a really bad name. Mm-hmm. And if I was in charge of Jews,
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, first of all, ADL is abolished, SPLC is abolished. Like, Ye says the Jews control the banks and they freeze his bank accounts.
Right.
If I was in control of Jewish PR, I'd be like, guys, let him rant.
Yeah,
let him run. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, we're validating everything he says. I remember, who's that guy? He was Sid Vicious and Sid and Nancy, but he was in a Playboy interview. He's a British guy. And he was like, if I said that the Jews control Hollywood, I'll be forced to apologize the next day. He was severely canceled the next day and forced to apologize to the ADL. Okay, well, you just proved his fucking point, guys.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, as a white man, we are defecated upon every day, and we just go, meh. As dads, we're defecated upon every day. We go, meh.
Where do you live right now?
In Westchester, a suburb of New York. About
You lived in New
40
York for
minutes
how
north.
long?
20 years.
For 20 years.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like, why do you feel like that? You feel like you're the white man, the white Christian man's being shit on.
Wait, so hold on. You start this whole thing about how the Holocaust didn't happen.
I didn't
So
say the
assumed
Holocaust didn't happen.
You were
I was telling you about
super
Mr.
right-wing
Death.
dude, and now you're like, why are you so obsessed with white dudes?
Yeah.
Are you like
I'm curious.
Are you like a left-wing anti-Semite?
No, I'm not an anti-Semite.
Where do I peg you? I don't think you can argue that if you watch commercials that white Christian heterosexual males are the whipping post of modern.
I don't see that. Maybe it's because I live in Florida.
Are you
and
doing it like a character?
No. Are you doing a character?
No.
You're the guy.
Pull up dude. Go to live TV right now.
I don't watch
and
live
pull
TV.
up
Maybe
a
that's
commercial,
why.
and there'll be some buffoon white guy trying to assemble an IKEA table,
Didn't Trump-
while a black woman is like, okay.
Didn't Trump just put somebody in his cabinet that's like in charge of like bolstering Christianity in America?
Yeah, an hour ago. That does
An
not
hour ago. This was
count.
like at least a month and a half
Oh,
ago.
I'm sorry, a month and a half ago.
Isn't that good for white Christian people?
No, it's that bad. I think that here's the analogy I always use. In my homestead.
Yes.
I don't even know what that word means. Does that mean like a commune in your own house?
I don't know what homestead means.
If my children were to fart on my wife, they'd be in big trouble. You don't fart on mom.
Right.
If you fart on me, it's funny.
Right.
You got me. That was super stinky. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Because I can take it. My wife is the woman of the house, and she's not tough. So you can't punch her. You can punch me. We could do a thing. You can punch me 3 times, I'll punch you once.
Right.
My wife would never sit there with our kids being like, okay, you punch me 3 times, I'll punch you once.
Right.
So I think that's indicative of a patriarchy, and it's indicative of modern society where I think we're buttholes on all commercials and in geopolitics and everything else because we can take it. And we're like, okay, yeah, I get it. And I'm off at a tangent now, but here's something I've noticed with comedy. They want to be controversial. They can't be racist. They can't mock Judaism. They can't mock Islam. They can sort of mock Christianity, but it's bad for business. So they tend to make really inappropriate child sex jokes, which I'm fine with if that's your thing. You're like the controversial show. But you got to spread it out with like racism and other very controversial things. But if you watch like SNL, the only time they get dangerous is like an incestuous mother who's in love with her 20-year-old son. And it ends up being this imbalance where kids are the only people we can with. And that's gross. If you're going to do controversial comedy, you got to spread the diarrhea around on every religious group, old people, ageism, sexism, homophobia. Like, you got to spread it all around. But the way it's going these days is it's just like, I want to fuck a kid, which, okay.
Really? I've never seen any comedy like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I haven't been around comedy as long as you have, but I've watched a lot of comedy specials, been to a lot of comedy shows. But like,
here's an example. SNL had this like quizzy game show. I'm sure you could find.
I don't watch SNL.
And it was like the Newlyweds Game type of show.
Okay,
and that was big in the '80s. Like, what's the craziest place you and your husband ever made whoopee? They called it whoopee back then. And one of the women was like, in the bum, and everyone's like, what the? We met a crazy location, bitch. So they were kind of parroting that, and it was, the couples were all weird, but they were, normal. And then one of the couples was a mother and her son was like, I don't know, 19 in the sketch. Very gross, very weird, but you're like, okay, I'm watching the gross, weird comedy show. I can handle that. But the next joke better be the most racist shit I've ever seen.
Right.
And the next joke better be the most anti-Semitic shit I've ever seen. But they're too scared of those. So now when you see controversial comedy, it's just like kid shit. Which is disgusting. Out of context.
Why do you think that is?
Because kids can't fight back.
Really?
Yeah. If you make fun of Jews, you're going to get the ADL and the SPLC. You make fun of Muslims, you're going to get the Muslim Brotherhood. You make fun of blacks, you're going to get BLM. There's going to be riots in the street. Everyone's going to get fired. Make fun of kids, they're at school. They just suffer. And that's the sign of a declining society, when you prey on the weak. So what seems like a throwaway joke is actually a harbinger of the apocalypse.
At what point did you transition from
male to female? I told you that was a secret.
Oh,
I asked you not to bring it up on the show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it's out
and
now.
you betrayed us, and you betrayed our NDA.
Yes. What I was going to ask was, at what point did you transition into this guy, this clean-cut guy with the mustache and the combed hair that talks about all this stuff all the time? I mean,
I never changed.
You never changed. So
I never changed.
Let me kind of give some context. I watched the Thomas Morton documentary that he made, and it was fascinating. I don't want to like say that. I thought what he did.
Hold that thought. I got to piss. I really broke the seal hard.
Yeah, you did. We got to get you a bucket to sit next to you.
If you want to get like 5 solo cups, I'm fine with that too.
Okay.
So you saw It's Not Funny Anymore?
Yeah, I watched his documentary. I had to get a VPN and like go like sign up for this weird platform, and I had to lie about my address being in Canada, but I was able to watch it.
Are you Canadian?
No.
Oh, right. Dumb question.
Oh, that's cool. You still got your Vice ring.
No, I don't.
Does it not say Vice on it? It
says hate.
Something else. Hate. Wow. It's the same style as the Vice rings.
Yeah, that was my idea. That was my shit with rings. I get in fights in New York, and brass knuckles send you to jail, and I didn't have my citizenship then. I was worried about being deported. If you wear rings, you can fight all night.
But then that's an
and
excuse.
if you get these Puerto Rican style things with the hard edges, you're going to rip someone's face apart.
Yeah, that would not be good.
I'm actually not supposed to say that on air. Because they could say you knew that those rings would do damage.
But do you want me to remove it, or can I keep it in? All right, cool.
Lawyers are
but it
lazy.
seems like he went and he interviewed all of your friends, all of your like childhood friends.
Yeah,
all these
they
former
all
people
said
that
I was
worked at
awesome,
Vice.
and I was truly.
I mean, no one really had anything really bad to say about it.
Because I am a good guy.
Right. They were all just kind of fascinated by this evolution of you going from like the early crazy guy Vice days, swinging your around the office and doing coke, to like this crazy right wing.
No, I would
racist
deny that.
Proud Boy
Though.
guy.
They weren't fascinated by that. Anyone who knows me knows that there wasn't a change. This is the problem with these. Like when he did that documentary, he showed me these cards, and he was like,
I saw that. Yeah.
Why did you become a Nazi? Were you beaten? Did you fall down the stairs? Did you see some documentary? And I'm like, wait a minute. The problem is your hypothesis. It's like me doing a documentary on why you became gay.
Right.
And I'm like, what happened? And I have all these theories, like you saw a musical, you got involved in ballet, you listened to disco, and you're like, these are all great theories. I'm not gay. So when he showed me all those, I go, dude, I thought you had a high IQ. Your hypothesis is wrong.
Yeah.
And the media's perception is that I went right. But the thing you got to understand about pre-Trump hipster America, like, for lack of a better word, cool culture is...
The other day I was at a restaurant waiting to pay my bill. Then I saw a roach crawl out of the printer. Turns out they bought their cashier system secondhand, and it was old, slow, and running Windows 95. But none of this would have happened if they would have went with Square. Square's gear is cheaper, touchscreen, and upgradable with software. It's the perfect solution for businesses, whether you're running a cafe, salon, or selling little UFOs to people on the street. Square is simple, easy, and it takes the headache out of business. I love checking out at a business that uses Square. It's everywhere downtown, especially with the little startups, pop-up shops, food trucks, and stuff like that. It's because the point of sale is so easy to use and integrates perfectly with their business. And Square isn't just hardware. It includes all the tools to manage and monitor your business too. You can even set up an online store if you're selling digital products. Square takes all major credit cards, including Apple and Google. I'm telling you, it's super simple. Square keeps up so you don't have to slow down. Get everything you need to run and grow your business without any long-term commitments. And why wait? Right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/Danny. That's SQUARE.com/go/Danny. Run your business smarter with Square and get started today. And thank you to Square for sponsoring this episode.
We all had that shit going on. Like Amphetamine Reptile Records, Tom Hazelmeyer, he named his daughter Reagan. And we're like, oh, that's the right-wing guy. Johnny Ramone said, kill a commie for mommy. You know, Fear had a big, like, American eagle on their records.
Yeah.
Gangrene were all about Budweiser.
No, like
the Meat Men.
The early punk people were like liberals.
And this is 80s. Like
the
Meat Men were like, I'm glad I'm not a girl. They have to sit down to pee. The Forgotten Rebels, bomb the boats, feed the fish. Now, obviously, punk was definitely left-leaning, but there was you could be weird and controversial and left-leaning. I used to wear a shirt that said "Speak English," and it had a little American flag there. And I would hang out with David Cross and like all these Patton Oswalt and John Benjamin and Todd Barry, and they were all like, "Oh, that's Gavin and his kooky." I just screwdriver belt buckle. And David Cross would say, "Where'd you get that?" Like he wanted one. Now, I'm obviously not a fan of Screwdriver, but it was just like, it was sort of like the punks in the 70s having swastikas or G.G. Allen.
I don't think anybody listening to this will even know anything about Screwdriver, which is funny.
they were a super offensive, like white power Nazi band. Mm-hmm. So you're just like,
I got something to
like,
say.
For example, Robert Crumb, he did this comic called, and you could, I'll censor myself, but when the King ends take over the world. And he did another 3-page comic called When the God Jays Take Over the World. And they were both, one was a parody of racism, the other was a parody of anti-Semitism. Right. But there was a picture of like these blacks that he drew. And it's like, you see these ends? They fucking hate you. So I put that on a t-shirt with Screwdriver on it. And it was like the most offensive shit you could have. And it's obviously not serious, right? And then with Trump, the nuance was gone. And there was no way to joke around anymore. And they kicked us out of culture. The nuanced right was kicked out of culture in 2015. And when I say the nuanced right, I mean anyone who would dare even look into that shit. We weren't like, it's not like we were real Rush Limbaugh, Pat Buchanan guys, but we were interested in Rush Limbaugh and Pat Buchanan. Let's check it out. And there was a spectrum. That's what I should say. The spectrum died with Trump. And they were like, you're 100% with us or 100% against us. All of you, f*** you. And it was such a weird time. Like this dude, John Glazer, we were best friends, not best friends, but our families would go on vacation together. He's a comedy writer guy. And our thing, me and him, was women are inept at loading the dishwasher. It's mind-blowing. Every time I load the dishwasher, it looks like a commercial for dishwashers. Bowls, plates. And I look at my wife and she's just like plopping a bowl upright, like on the top shelf. Honey, that's just going to load with water. It's not getting washed.
Really?
Yeah. You never seen a woman load a dishwasher?
My wife loads the dishwasher great.
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong. She does.
Well, then she's a dude.
My problem.
Have you seen her genitalia?
My problem with the dishwasher is it doesn't clean shit.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And my dishwasher is 2 hours.
Really?
And yes, it's 2 hours because of Biden is not Biden just, but like this modern shit with like eco stuff. I have an 80s house and I have a bar in the basement. The dishwasher is from the 80s. Dude, you could put, I don't know, King Tut's you could put his coffin in there and it would come out sparkling bright because they boil up the water. And anyway, we're off at a tangent here. But anyway, I would get back and forth with John about dishwasher shit. Yeah. You know how you have certain friends, like Lily Gaddis on our site, we send each other pictures of people at airports wearing pajamas and Crocs. But that's our entire text. There's no other discussion. You know how you lock in with someone and you're like, that's my guy. Like you have a friend in Ireland and you're like, Ireland had another African kill an old couple, and you don't send him anything like, I'm feeling upset, but I don't feel like my wife loves me anymore. That's a different text chain.
Yeah.
So John sent me a text that was like, hey man, I think you knew this was coming, but obviously I have an awesome dishwasher picture to send you, but I can't because you know what's coming. And I'm like, what's coming? And he goes, Trump, because he knew I supported Trump. And 2015, 2016 was this crazy split that was unprecedented. Like, when we were kids, when I was a kid in the 70s, you had no fucking clue who your neighbor voted for.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was 100% with us, 100% against us.
Yeah.
And then they had to explain why Gavin is no longer our friend. And I'm not the only Gavin, by the way. There's probably 50 million. No, there's probably 150 million Gavins in this analogy. But they go, he joined the Nazi cult. He's a racist. And then instead of going, really? Aren't his kids like Native American? They go, no, let's find out why he's a racist. And Thomas Sowell talked about this. He goes, you can go from a liberal to a conservative without changing your views when the media's narrative shifts.
Yes.
And I'm a socially liberal, fiscally conservative, libertarian for strong borders. That was Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton in 2004.
Yeah.
That was Barack Obama in 2004. It's also normal Archie Bunker dad politics.
Yeah.
Like, do you want your dad to be pro-trans? That's gay.
That is pretty gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine your dad was like, don't hurt trans kids.
What's that quote? I think I heard you say this quote, which I love. It said, if you're not a liberal, I'm going to butcher it. You can probably say it better. If you're not a liberal when you're young.
Churchill pushed it a lot. I don't know if he meant it. If you're not a conservative, no, if you're not a liberal, I think he said socialist. If you're not a socialist when you're young, you have no heart.
Right.
And if you're not a conservative when you're old, you have no brain. I mean, a conservative is just a liberal who got mugged. And if you ever start making money, which I assume you are, this Escape from New York set, you've got to be a conservative because you can get your check and you see how much the government took and you go, what the fuck?
Right.
And then you go, okay, well, the roads are going to be like a skate park when I go outside. No, the roads are in Iraq. Oh, the education is going to be mind-blowing. My kids are going to be Benjamin Franklin. No, your kids don't know who Benjamin Franklin is.
Right.
They're reading a George Takei graphic novel about internment camps. Okay, well, what am I getting for my fucking money? Pete Buttigieg blowing up train tracks?
Right.
With toxic chemicals?
CIA operations in the Ukraine.
I'm open to socialism if the money goes where I want it to go.
If you could pick where your taxes go. Right.
Like they always brag about Northern Europe. I might be a socialist in Finland. I was in Boston recently and I hadn't been there in years, and I was at a bar and everyone was white and everything was organized and there was no skells, there's no crackheads around. And I go, oh, I get why they're so left wing up here. Because they don't see the scammers and the junkies and the EBT cards at strip clubs and the constant violence against police.
Yeah.
So they're like, we need to be more generous.
Yeah, it's like that in Denmark too, where they're like, I think even the women in the maternity leave in Denmark is like a year and a half or something insane.
Sounds great.
And they pay them. I think they pay moms. Like if you have a kid, they just like pay you like an extra $5,000 a month. It's ridiculous.
I hate that shit too, because you're comparing apples and oranges. Like America had 30 million illegals before Biden. I think it has 40 now, right?
You're probably right about that.
He let in 12 million, more than Ellis Island in its total 80-year history. We also have this insane, very unique obesity problem.
Yeah.
Where you
All the poor people are obese. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, our poor eat too much, as John Stossel said. That's our biggest problem, is our poor eat too much.
And they eat garbage.
You go to Disneyland and it's just spheres everywhere, human spheres. So
driving around in those little carts.
Dude, talk to a surgeon, man. They don't know what to do with these fucking pigs. Like my dad is a drunk, and he was like fixing some branch at like 3 a.m. with a chainsaw, and he's like, this is dangerous, so I'll put on 3 hats.
Right.
Because there's nothing safer than 3 wool hats. And I'll put on 2 jackets in case I get hit. So he was like tying up branches, and he actually ended up making a Gavin's dad killing machine, where when he finally released the branches, it went whack! And it sent him flying through the air, and his ladder. He landed, he broke his back in 15 places.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was rough. You wore a turtle shell for like a year. But they went in there, they fixed them all with pins.
Yeah.
And the surgeon goes, I got to say, man, my dad's skinny because drunks don't eat.
Because what don't eat?
Drunks don't eat.
Don't eat. Okay. Yeah.
In fact, they starve to death. But we try to get them Chinese food.
What's the difference between a drunk and an alcoholic?
Great question.
I think
drunks are funny. Alcoholics are sad.
Right. And
An alcoholic is like at the bar at 9. A drunk is at the bar at 3.
Right. And usually the drunks don't go to meetings either.
No. So the surgeon goes, I got to say, man, this is what we went to medical school for. Like, you cut open the skin and the spine's right there. These tubs of shit, you cut open the belly, it just goes, blah. And so you fix what you got to fix. You have all this yellow fat. You close it. There's this vacuum trying to open it back up again. So they rip the sutures out constantly.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there's this like opening here. You can't stitch fat.
Right.
So don't tell me about Denmark. Don't tell me about Medicare. Don't tell me about even England, where there's still plenty of fatties. We are unlike any other country in the world. We were built on guns and violence. We took over the most powerful, empire in the world at the time. And you're like, well, actually in Finland, they get paid in oranges. Okay, that sounds nice. We're not doing that here. Actually, there's a train in Beijing that can get you to Shanghai in an hour. Okay, we got cars here, dude. We're pioneers.
Yeah. I want to hear more about your Disney cruise. Where was that cruise?
Oh my God, don't get me started.
Did you see a lot of these fatties on your Disney cruise? And also, are you aware of like, there's these people that are influencers and all they do is go to Disneyland and they teach you how to go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And they're full-blown adults.
I saw a video an hour ago about some new park, Epic Universal or something, and there's all these adults, like 40 years old, running and screaming. It's because, okay, just to go back a little bit, Harris, what's his name on InfoWars, was talking about this. Asians, liberal women, blacks, gays, if we only let them vote, everything would be blue. The only place that would turn America red is white males. So let's make everything against white males. And part of that is don't breed. And when they say don't breed, blacks and Hispanics don't listen to that, right? So when you say don't breed, white women hear it. And they're like, okay, done. So you have this paternal instinct. So you become a fur mom and you adopt rescues. But you also become obsessed with Disney. Because it's like a fake mommy thing. Where, I don't know, your husband's your baby? I don't know who the kid is in this scenario, but I guess you are. So it's a disgusting, sad culture that's pathetic and embarrassing. It's why I started the Proud Boys, actually.
Oh, really?
Because our producer, your guy, was 23, a virgin. He went to Disneyland with his friends, didn't get wasted, and didn't fuck anyone. And I'm like, I'm okay going to Disneyland if you're in the Butthole Surfers and you guys do LSD, and it's ironic, but this was not ironic. So anyway, my Disney story is, yes, tons of fatties on the cruise. the thing about cruise people is they're not adventurous. You'll have to stop me because I have 9 hours on Disney cruises.
Oh, really? Okay.
But they're on these like rascals. There's in one part of the hallway, there's like a chart that shows you where you are on the cruise. The fatties that's their elephant's graveyard. They pilgrimage over there, and then they just look at the chart of where they are. You know when you're on a plane, you can see where the plane is?
Yeah.
You look at it for like 4 seconds. Okay, we're near Ireland. Anyway, back to my movie.
Right.
They're just like,
That's so
insane.
Yeah,
And-
it's a floating shopping mall.
And you got to understand, like travel is semi-adventurous.
Right.
If you're on a cruise, you're not an adventurous person. So you're not social. So at one point, the lawn chairs are all touching. So I'm about to get in bed with 2 men. Like our shoulders might even physically touch. So I got to say something. And I throw out my towel. I don't even know why I'm doing this. And I'm like, alrighty, here we go. And the guys don't go like, getting kind of too close for comfort, or it's some little dumb joke, or come on in, the water's fine, or some dumb
Yeah,
quip.
yeah.
They don't
Break
do
the ice.
quips. Yeah, break the ice. They just stay like this.
They don't
Like
even
I
move their
had
head.
facial tattoos. And I do have a lot of tattoos. So, okay, let's take me out of the equation. So my wife's at the bar, and this woman's getting a drink, and it's like 3:00, and she goes, I'll get a margarita. And my wife's behind her, and we're trying to socialize a little bit. I didn't have my 3rd kid. I had a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. So she gets some margarita. And then my wife does super generic social shit where she goes, it's 5:00 somewhere. And the woman goes like, put the camera on me. The woman goes, like, I'm like, did we rape Mickey Mouse? And I
Jesus.
wasn't told about it? Brutal. And the cabin you're on an ocean all night.
Really?
The only way I could sleep is I pretended I was a billionaire and I was on my own private jet where, yeah, it's pretty loud. I'm going over Dubai. So the only people I could talk to were the staff. So that's why I feel so comfortable here, because I was in the gallows. Because my wife goes to bed early. She's a squaw, doesn't drink.
Right.
But so like 9:00, I have no one to hang out with. And the fucking nerd Gen Xers are, I don't know, playing shuffleboard and drinking pina coladas. So I just hung out with the staff the whole time.
That's so funny. And
Do not go on a cruise.
no, cruises suck balls. You don't want to go. You don't want to travel or go anywhere. Like the best part about traveling is getting in weird situations where you might die.
Thank you.
I think.
And even with a family, the best part of traveling is like finding a weird place. Like in St. Martin, there's this beach. It's all French people, and they serve like cheeseburgers and beer, and the kids can play on the beach, and
Yeah.
no one knows about it. And that's your little, your hidden spot.
Right. Right.
That's fun.
Going somewhere in a car where you're driving on the wrong side of the road and you pull up to some weird beach cutout where there's a guy valeting cars here. You're not sure if he's going to kill or mug you.
Thank you.
That's the exciting part
Exactly,
about traveling.
yes.
And you're not going to get that on a cruise ship.
No.
Get your hair braided, maybe.
If you go on a cruise ship, you're a loser. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's a
that's
mall.
what I agree. It is. Yeah.
And now it's a fucking ghetto mall.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, they've gotten way worse. I think they got destroyed by COVID. They had to lower their prices, and now it's just the hood. So don't do that.
Where did your cruise go? Like, where was it? Where was it out of?
It went through the Caribbean,
Okay, so
Trinidad,
you left
Tobago,
Florida.
St. Martin. We stopped at St. Martin, and we went to some weird little like working class French shithole with the cheeseburgers, and the beach went on for hours. And I'm like, we have to get back on the cruise. So we like made a note, and then we went on a vacation the next year, and we just went there. St. Martin is awesome. I love St. Martin.
Yeah.
It's great.
St. Martin is
Jamaica is so dangerous that when
Yeah.
you go somewhere, it's razor wired in, and you're in like a little f***ing aquarium.
Yeah.
But St. Martin is open. It's the best place in the Caribbean.
I used to do a ton of traveling through the Caribbean and all around like South America to film surfing back in
Oh,
the
really?
day.
Do you surf?
Yeah. Well, not as much as I used to. But when I was a kid,
Surfing's
I
not
surfed a lot.
possible.
It's not possible.
It's a myth. I'm like a flat earther with surfing.
Oh, really?
It's fake.
What do you mean by that?
It can't. I tried it. It can't. Those guys must be CGI'd. Because you get out to the waves, and by the time you get to the spot, your arms are Grover spaghetti.
Right.
And now you have to be stronger than ever.
Yes.
Because you have to ride with the wave.
Right.
I'm toast. I just did 750 push-ups.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal.
Those guys, what the fuck is going on?
It's insane. Yeah, it's a different kind of cardio that you build over a long period of time.
Holy shit. It's like hockey.
It's fucking insane.
You play for 4 minutes and you start puking your guts out.
Yeah, that's literally like, it's the most hardcore cardio you've ever done for like, you probably spend, if you go out surfing in like big waves for 2-3 hours, you're spending maybe 10 minutes out of that 3 hours
How do women
surfing.
do it? They have no upper body strength. How do they get out there?
Women?
A fucking jet ski?
Yeah, it's weird. There's
Who
little
brings
kids
them out there?
I've been like, go to Pipeline in Hawaii, which is like the most dangerous
Fake.
wave in the world, and you're surfing over
AI.
razor sharp reef that's like that far
it's
under the
AI.
wave.
It's not
and
real.
there's like 8-year-olds out there surfing that shit. It's crazy.
That's Grok. Grok made them. They're not
Grok
doing
made
it.
them?
Yeah. It's not possible.
And it's funny. One of the guys I used to film with, he's how I discovered Vice because he got a job with Vice.
What year was that?
God.
You mean Jake?
No, Jerry.
Ah, shit.
Do you want to know Jerry?
No.
He was good friends with Jake. He filmed.
Oh, you know Jake?
I don't know him personally, but I know who he is.
Great guy. You
Yeah.
know what I love about Jake? And it's an inspiration for all dads everywhere. His dad was like a Jeff Spicoli guy. And he would go to his school and be like, Jake's got a dentist appointment. And they're like, really? I don't have that on the files here. He's like, yeah, it's really bad. He's got like cavities and shit. So I'd be like, Jake, your Jeff Spicoli dad is taking you to the dentist? And he'd be like, he knew what it was. And he'd get in the fucking truck, surfboards in the back, and him and his dad would just shred all day.
That's fucking awesome.
And I'm like, I want to be like that. I want to be
Yeah.
like Jake's dad.
So Jerry, I think went with Jake to North Korea to film that North Korea thing. And a bunch of their
that
stuff.
bullshit thing,
Jerry
yeah.
filmed the whole noisy. I don't know. I don't know how much you followed it after you left, but that was all after you left. I discovered it after I think you left. You left in like 2008.
2008. North Korea was like around my time.
That was around your time.
Yeah. I've heard some very dubious things about that. Like,
Really?
you got to understand, you can't bribe your way into North Korea. It's not like Morocco.
Right.
So if you filmed anything in North Korea, you were allowed to film it. There's no way to do North Korea edgy. It's like doing the Soviet Union edgy in fucking 1985. Like that's not what happened. And there's no hidden camera shit.
But they got in there with Dennis Rodman. He got him in, right?
Yeah, that was all fake too. Like that, not fake, but that was all sanctioned, I should say.
Right. They were like Dennis was like their tour guide, and they gave him a tour through.
Well, they'd already been, I think. So it was the second time was with Dennis Rodman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that intellectual Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. He's a funny guy.
I don't know. They really botched that, I think.
Really?
As far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
How long do you think it took for Vice to start going downhill after you left?
Well, here's the beauty of that. I want the narrative to be they got rid of Gavin and they went bankrupt. Right?
But it was the opposite.
Yeah. But here's the thing. The way history is written, they did insanely good for 15 years. But over time, that 15 years is going to compress. And it'll be like, got rid of Gav and they went broke. Not true, but that's the way history works these days. So I think they were really fucking good after I left for at least 5 years, which I did not like.
Right.
That made me very upset.
Yeah.
I wanted them to bomb the next day. But it's also not what I'm interested in. I fucking hate traveling. I'm a Western chauvinist.
Really?
I hate
Didn't you live in Thailand?
I lived in Taiwan.
Taiwan. Okay.
And I fucking hate China. I hate Taiwan. I hate Eastern culture. I hate them all. Them all.
Right.
Like deeply, I deeply hate them.
Why so deep of a hatred?
They're just not us.
Did that develop when you were living in Taiwan?
Sure, maybe, yeah.
Sure.
Here's my new thing. This is a new thing I have this week.
Okay.
I hate closeted.
Why do you hate closeted?
It's 2025. Why are you lying? It's like lying about being circumcised at this point. Like, why are you wasting my fucking time? My uncle was a closeted who died in the closet. And I realized I never really knew him. Like, he would be very gregarious when he was drunk, but outside of that, he'd be like Strachan the straight guy. And I'm like, okay, well, I never got to know you, face. And I used to spend the summers in Scotland. So, like, we had thousands of hours just flushed down the toilet because you were scared to be gay. And I totally get being scared to be gay in the 50s. Gotcha. 80s, 90s, 2000s?
Right.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
You don't have to be scared to be gay nowadays.
You got to be scared to not be gay if you're in school. If you're 11 and you're like, I think I like girls, you're going to go through conversion therapy.
Yeah,
and
not
make
in Florida,
sure
maybe in New York.
We'll show you pictures of dicks all day until you like it. So, yeah, duplicitous people piss me off, and
It's not like that down here.
that's why I'm a Western chauvinist, because Western culture is like, especially like Northeast American culture, is like, what the f***'s on your face?
On my face?
No, that's how they talk. Say you had a big wart there.
Yeah.
I'd be like, dude, what? Can you not like freeze that, or what is that? Like, put a dental floss around it and it'll fall off or something. Like, we say what's on our mind. And, Europeans aren't really like that, but Eastern people are just not like that. And I
Well, that's
hate
more
it.
like New York culture. It's not really like all of America, right? Like the West Coast, they're weird, disingenuous, all about being...
that's a bastardized version of us. I don't know what happened there.
New York is more like, we can make fun of anybody. We'll shit on you and laugh at it.
Right. Like Joe Rogan says, it's like women and men. Men will talk shit about you to your face, then behind your back say you're the greatest guy that ever lived.
Yes.
Women will flatter you to your face and then talk shit about you behind your back.
Right, yeah.
That woman culture is Eastern culture. It's Asian culture. It's, I don't know about Russian culture, but it's like all other cultures. And I saw this woman in Taipei when I lived there, and she just got fucking railed by a car.
Hey guys, if you're not already subscribed, please hammer the subscribe button below and hit the like button on the video. Back to the show.
And she was bleeding like a stuck pig.
Oh, God.
But they don't show emotion in Asian culture. And Taipei is Taiwan. It's capitalist. China is communist. But they act the same. Just one group has more money. They're still the same people. And she's standing there waiting for the ambulance. Blood is gushing out of her leg. And she's just like, and I'm like, go ow. Say ow.
Right.
Your knee's falling off. But they don't, they call it honor, but it's just like dishonesty, really.
Yeah. Well, what about the guy who fucking lit himself on fire during the Vietnam War and just sat there, didn't even fucking blink?
Yeah.
That's the epitome of that, right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't like
We're
that.
doing that now.
You wanted that guy to be screaming.
Yeah. But we have that now. We're taking on Eastern culture. How many burners have we had this year? We had the dude in front of Trump's trial who lit himself on fire. We had the guy in front of the Israeli embassy who said, free Palestine. He lit himself on fire. And then all the lefties were like, you're a white dude. And I'm like, they don't like you, man.
Yeah.
You burned yourself alive. And they're all like, you don't have the right to fucking co-opt our revolution. Imagine you light yourself on fire and you go to heaven or hell, I guess. And people are like, nope. Sorry, Whitey. Not on my watch. And you're like, I thought that was pretty good. Lighting myself on fire. I guess I didn't make the cuts.
Right.
Okay, sorry. What should I do next time? Light my whole family on fire?
What specifically were you doing in Taiwan? Why were you living there?
So when I graduated college, which was a dumb waste of time, there were no jobs. And I'd been a bike messenger in Montreal, which was, I'd rather French kiss my dad than do that again. That was fucking, you imagine the winters in Montreal on a mountain bike?
No, I can't.
Going through the snow at 5 a.m.
No, fuck no.
So you could make $20 an hour back then teaching English. The minimum wage was $5 an hour. So you could make fucking bank. And you go there and Chinese people just come up to you and they're like, you'll be at a fucking drugstore buying toothpaste. And like, can I talk to you, please? And they give you their address, and you'd set up appointments. So I had a whole schedule of these people, and I came back with like 10 grand.
Oh, wow.
Which it doesn't sound like a lot now, but when you're 22, I was a fucking billionaire. And I was there for about 6 months. And you know what's weird? I could not get Asian pussy to save my life.
How old were you?
21.
Really?
The facial hair. And I need facial hair because I don't have a chin. So I make a fake chin out of hair. It's a Potemkin village of chin. But Asians hate hair. They're freaked out by it. But
So you didn't get any Asian pussy when you were there?
0. But I had my pick of the whites. Because the
Was there a
white
lot of
guys,
whites
there was 3. I fucked them all.
You fucked them all. The whole population.
Dude, I fucked this one girl who would get goose pimples when she came.
Goose pimples. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I haven't experienced that before since.
I've experienced that before.
I had a saying, fucking Chinese, every time something went wrong or some bullshit with them. And she dumped me for being racist. And I'm like, they say black people can't be racist because they're a minority. I was a minority. Can I say fucking Chinese in China? And I believe Taiwan's in China. But yeah, I did very well with white pussy there. But yeah, could not fucking slay any yellow. What a crime.
And the whole thing with Vice. So when in 2008, I believe it was, that is when, these are great. I'm going to have one too. The whole thing in 2008.
Mind, calm energy.
Magic.
That'd be funny if it was
It's
just
a brain stimulant.
If it was just Xanax and Adderall in green water. They get busted 3 years later, massive scandal.
It's definitely not fucking Adderall. Have you done a podcast on Adderall? It's the worst experience ever.
I wouldn't know what that's like. Anyway, next question. The guy probably sounded like a freak. Anyway, so many questions. Why don't we try to narrow it down? Anyway, what's this?
Are you an Adderall right now?
No. Can I get another beer?
I was debating on eating one today.
Dude, I walked in. I won't give away your location.
Yeah.
But I walked into a bar this morning at 11 a.m.
That one right there?
Yes.
That's a great bar.
And they go, "You want a shot?" As I walk in. Yes, sir.
They just looked at you and thought you needed a shot.
Well, apparently it was the tequila reps were in town, and they buy a bottle and then they give everyone free shots. It's a great bar, by the way.
It is a great bar. Their food,
My buddy's local.
Their food is surprisingly good too, which is weird. I bet you their
Food's
kitchen
gay.
is fucking nasty.
Food is a fad.
Yeah.
Food and sleep is for queers.
I fucking slept maybe 2 hours last night,
Me too.
and I woke up this morning feeling like I got ran over and by a truck and then dragged 20 miles. And I was debating on I hit my buddy up and I was like, "Yo, I might need to get an Adderall. You got an Adderall for me?" I drove and met him and he gave me an Adderall and I was like, I had it and I was looking at it. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to fucking do it.
You just never do a whole Adderall.
It turns me into a fucking emotionless robot.
Yeah.
You know?
I took, HRT, whatever it's called, where your body produces more testosterone.
Oh, testosterone. Yeah. When people inject themselves with testosterone.
Right, but it's not that. It's not you putting in testosterone. It's you telling your body to make more. I was too much of a pussy to go full testosterone. So it's...
Oh, so you're doing like naturally boosting your own testosterone?
Is that what it is?
Hormone replacement therapy is...
No, that's not it. It's HGH, I think.
Oh, human growth hormone.
Maybe that's what it is. Anyway,
Do you inject it in your body?
No, it's a pill.
Oh, okay.
So you forget the acronyms. It tells your brain to make more testosterone.
Okay.
And because I got these buddies, like my buddy Stiggs, he's a retired cop, and he chest presses 350 pounds.
Wow.
He's a monster. And he'll drink like 50 beers and not get drunk. And he's like, "You got to do it." And he goes, "You can't have kids anymore. Your fucking balls turn into peas." But who cares? When was the last time your wife even fucking saw your balls?
Exactly.
And I'm like, these are all strong points. So I didn't want to go full T, so I tried that shit. Started going bald immediately.
Yeah.
And this is when
you got great hair for your age. How old are you?
I'm 55.
Great hairline.
So but we're losing it here.
Is that hairline real or did you get surgery?
It's my pubes. I had my
It's your
pubes
pubes?
skin grafted.
Okay.
And I did it myself.
Okay.
That's almost never
in
done.
New York.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Numbing cream.
It looks great.
A 6-pack and some ice. No, that's my real hair. But the thing I didn't like is I would come home and my kids felt like my wife felt like my girlfriend, and then my kids felt like my girlfriend's kids. Like I was like, "Hi, buddy, how are you today? All right, did you play your baseball or whatever you guys do?" I was like, "All right, I'm not doing this."
That was when you took the pills.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think just like Viagra, It's sitting there on the maybe shelf.
Yeah.
And I may become
I
the
love the maybe
testosterone
shelf.
guy. But I'm waiting till it's an issue. Like Anthony Cumia, he was fucking getting injected in the ass like a maniac.
Yeah.
And I would hang out with him. He'd drink too much. And I also noticed when we would hang out, he'd be like, look at that ass. And I'd be like, what? And there'd be like
Horny all
some
the
woman
time.
like 40 feet away.
Yeah.
And then he ended up getting a quadruple bypass. So,
Anthony Cumia?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
At what age?
60?
You think it was from doing the testosterone?
I do think it was.
No, there's no way.
Well, there's genetics.
Yeah.
There's the boozing.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's
But-
part of it.
He was fucking going hard.
You know, it's a big thing with like 20-year-olds, like really young kids now. Like it's a high
Oh,
schoolers.
that's fucking terrible
high
news.
schoolers going to the gym. They just want to get super yoked, so they fucking buy testosterone behind the gas station, and they're all fucking injecting
Okay,
themselves with it.
stop. Women don't want super yoked. Like, women don't want David Beckham. And I'd also like to say, as a guy who used to be young, we don't want fucking like Lonnie Anderson lingerie. Like,
Yeah.
Tomboys are extinct, right?
Yeah.
That was my bread and butter when I was at 15 years old. That's how you start getting into girls.
Right.
She has overalls and a red baseball hat and she likes baseball, and you go on a date with her and maybe you smooch and touch one tit. Mm-hmm. When you get into your 20s, you want her to wear lingerie and smack her
Right.
ass with high heel shoes and all that shit, but it's a stepping stone. Mm-hmm. And they've eradicated tomboys from the fucking gene pool. Now, they just go, I'm a man. They cut their tits off.
Right.
And now there was the cover of Time magazine said extinct, and it had a tomboy on the front.
No, it didn't.
It did
When?
a month ago.
Are you making this up?
Pull that up, Jamie.
I think you're making this shit up.
I wish I was. I wish I was. And Time magazine's pretty left.
Yeah. Now you've made. Oh my god, it's fucking real. Holy
Like
shit.
that girl, I was obsessed with that girl my whole life. You know, as a young man, and also on TV.
Dude, I mean, yeah, there's nothing
you
wrong
had
with
Bailey
Tomboy.
with
There's some hot
WKRP.
tomboys.
You had Welcome Back, Cotter's Wife. Like Gen X in the 70s, those were our gals. We wanted to kiss them on the lips.
The first to exist since the 90s. Is this like is Time going anti-trans?
Well, maybe yes. And I think they're also saying
Trump
that
made
tomboys
Time,
are
right?
coming back, which I hope they are. Like, call me old-fashioned. I don't want you to mutilate yourself and cut your
Right.
fucking tits off.
Right.
Have you ever seen a tit?
A tit?
Yeah.
I've seen one or two.
It's a very elaborate piece of machinery. Did you
Oh, yeah.
know?
I'm watching my wife feed a baby with one every single
Did
day
you
now.
know when they're feeding a baby, the tit goes, not a lot of iron here. Let's produce more iron in the
fucking
milk.
crazy.
It's a lab. It's a
Yeah.
live lab.
Yeah.
It's not an earlobe.
Right.
And they chop that off and literally throw it in the garbage
It's crazy.
in the name of, feminism.
I think all that's the pendulum swinging on all that shit, isn't it?
Yes, you're right, but people are still getting canceled. I mean,
Really?
sure. And there's all these holdouts. I mean, LA, Hollywood, the comedy scene in the West Coast, they're going to they're sort of like the Japanese military when they didn't know that World War II ended. I saw a great video recently where this woman was like, there's a certain demographic who transition their kids and they're never going to admit they were wrong because you cut your daughter's tits off. It's like a girl who got an abortion. She's never going to be pro-life.
No, because you've gone so far, you're
Because
never going to do
if you
that,
become
yeah.
pro-life, you have to admit that you killed a baby.
Right.
So they're pro-choice for life. And I think these parents that cut her tits off,
Yeah.
they're like, it was definitely the right thing.
Yeah.
Or else I maimed my child, which is what's worse than maiming your child?
There's not much things. There can't get much worse than that.
I guess maybe mass murder, maybe.
Megan Fox has trans kids.
Yeah, she's got like 7.
7 of them. Yeah.
Statistically impossible.
It's insane. And that's you did some big trans piece back, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back for you and Vice.
No, not at all.
No, okay.
So the straw that broke the camel's back with me and Vice was Viacom. We were merging with Viacom, and they go, I don't like this guy. There was this guy, Brian Graydon, I think his name is, and I had the do's and don'ts, and there's a lot of gay jokes in there.
Right.
And so I was always like investigating radical shit, and then I think I went to this, I went to this Amaranth American Renaissance Conference, and I think Brian Graydon was like, see what he's up to? And, Shane was my childhood friend, I hired him to do sales. We were buddies when we were 12. And he was like...
In Canada?
Shane and Sarush were both like, fuck, man, that was way too far and you're getting out of control. And I would have been like, okay, we were handshake guys. But they gave me a legal document and I just couldn't get over it. So when they reached out the olive branch, or when Shane did, I was still so mad about the lawyer letter that I was like, fuck you. And then when I take a long time to get over things. So like a month later when I was ready to forgive him, he had already...
This is after the breakup.
No, this is leading to the breakup.
Leading to the breakup.
Yeah, this is 2004.
Okay.
When I reached out my olive branch, he was done. Like, this is... Whenever you hear about this, like what's her name at...
This is so strange to me because it's always been a wild phenomenon to me. People who grow up as friends for so long, and then one of them just fucking cuts all ties, all communication, everything.
Well, 90% of the time, it's mistimed olive branches. So he reached out his, I snapped it away. Mm-hmm. And then when I reached out mine, it was dead. He snapped his away. That's really what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. And there was a woman at the New York Times, she was the executive editor. What was her name? Fucking Laura Rabinovich or something. And I said to her once, I go, what it really comes down to is you didn't have beers with Pinch. Pinch was the Arthur Sulzberger Jr. That's why the Japanese get drunk with their employees. You got to get drunk with your coworkers. You guys should go get pissed like once a month. Mm. When you don't do that, I don't know, you drift apart. When you get drunk with your coworkers, you reestablish connections and you realize, oh, you're a human being.
Right.
When you don't do that, you drift apart.
Yes.
And that's what happened with us. We were like three amigos. We bought a house together in Costa Rica. We would party together all of December, all of January, all of July. And then I fell in love with this woman and I left the trio. And I don't think they, openly resented that, but it was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then they go on a golf trip with Johnny Knoxville and shit. And I'm like, I'd rather just be with my girlfriend and, go skiing or some shit.
Right.
So that was the beginning of the end. Olive branches smashed. And we never recovered from that. So the moral of the story is if you have a big company.
And then
there was the pressure from corporate Viacom to get rid of me. But I could have survived that if I hung out with those guys more and drank more.
Did you see that coming though? Them. Like when they started courting that VC money, did you how clearly did you see that coming?
That's a great question. And the funny thing is, my role was always being their worst nightmare.
Right.
I was the Grinch that stole Christmas, like from day one. We used to, in Montreal days, we would go to the printing press when we were newsprint, and we had to wait like 6 hours at the press to check the reds and the yellows and the greens. I think it was bullshit. What are we going to do? More green, please. Right. I think it was just a gesture. But anyway, I would draw. I'm a good cartoonist. I would draw the most horrifically insulting cartoons of them. And Sarush looks like Gonzo from the Muppet Show, and I would draw like his bags under his eyes, and it would take me like 10 minutes, and I would show him, and he'd be like, Jesus Christ, that is so horrible. And then I draw Shane as this big fat useless tub of shit, and I would show him, and Sarush can take it on the chin, but Shane is very sensitive, and he'd be like, you know what, that actually looks bad on you. And I'm like, this fat tub of shit looks bad on me? And he's like, yeah, it shows how you see people. So I was just like the screwdriver belt buckle and the speak English. Like I was always the bad guy.
Yeah.
In a silly Batman villain kind of way. So there was no really writing on the wall in that sense because that was the culture. And in fact, with Vice...
That was the... Would you say that kind of attitude and that mindset was the whole soul behind Vice, right?
Correct. And that was our business plan. Our business plan was Gavin and the Sid Vicious guys were cantankerous nightmares. And then the sales guys hated us.
They were like mom and dad.
Right. And we could never be friends. And I remember when I tried to transfer that to Vice UK, they would do these advertorials where it's a 5-page article about Tiger beer and how awesome it is. And I'm like, dude, retarded. No person reading this is like, well, I guess Vice really loves Tiger beer. I guess it's a delicious beer. And they just found it upon themselves to talk about Tiger beer for 5 pages. No, dude, it's clearly they paid for this fucking shit. Mm-hmm. So we had this cantankerous relationship, and it was fucking fun, I gotta say. Like, I have this joke where I add the word care into everything, where people are like, hey, man, I just got my diploma. And I'm like, hi, I just got my diploma in care. Because I don't care that you got your diploma, right?
In care?
Yeah, like care was the constant thing. Sorry, I'm late. Sorry, I care. I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It gets funny 37 times into it.
Okay.
So I remember one time there was this sales guy coming by. It was me and Jesse Pearson, who was the managing editor at the time. And the sales guy is walking by the cool section, the editorial section. We made the advertising guys the nerds in the other section. Right. And there was literally a wall between us. So he's coming out and he's with some radio guy and he goes, hey guys. And we're like, hi. And he goes, this is the radio dude I was telling you about who wants to advertise with us. And I go, where does he work? CARE-FM? And then we all died fucking laughing because we don't care. Oh, and that chips away after a while, especially when you get to Viacom levels.
Yeah.
And eventually it breaks. And they were like, I don't like this advertising hates editorial. I mean, we'd still drink beers with them on a Friday night. That's my dad's thing. My dad always said, I'm a terrible person to work with. I'm a great guy to drink with. And that's always been my philosophy. Work should not be fun. Besides this. Right. So, like, work sucks. What the fuck are you doing? Get your notes together. And then, Friday at 5, let's go to the bar and I'll hang out with you. We're buddies. But we're like working on the chain gang. We're like chipping rocks.
Right. But like, you were in charge of all the content within
all
Vice.
The content. I was retard. I was literally retards. We had R.A. the Rugged Man, the rapper. He had severely handicapped kids.
Oh no,
siblings.
Oh,
like brutally. And
this guy work for you?
No, he was a friend.
Oh, okay.
But we did a advice column.
Right.
I would answer questions as a retard. I was women. I was a black guy. Like, because they said your writing isn't diverse enough. So I just became all the people that they wanted us to be: black, female, retarded, whatever you want. That's the best way to handle diversity. Just have a white guy do it.
Oh my fucking God.
That's your pull quote.
That's fucking hilarious. Well, there was, and I've heard this described by Hamilton. He says there was like 3.
Who's Hamilton?
Morris? Was he after you?
Thomas Morton? Oh, Hamilton Morris.
Hamilton, did he come in there after you?
That rings a bell. I don't really think I know him.
Oh, interesting. Maybe he came in after you. You ever heard of Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia?
Nope. Oh, that's the guy who did like the drug videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The chemist.
Couldn't know him less. You got to understand too, after I left, I was so resentful that I would see that logo, which I can only tolerate like now.
Right.
40 years later.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't watch any of the shows.
Right. Was there video when you were still there? You guys were already doing video?
Oh yeah, David Cross and I went to China and we had a company make us apple pies called All American Apple Pies with an American flag in them. And when you pull out the American flag, it plays a Star Spangled Banner with like a little machine in the apple pie.
Wow.
And it said American made on the side.
In China?
In China, yeah.
That's fucking incredible.
We did a million funny things there. We went to a bar once when we were there, and we met the owner, and he's like, what are you guys doing here? And we go, we're in a band, but the fucking government doesn't want us here because we're too revolutionary, and they took all our equipment, so I guess we can't do our tour. And he goes, you can play here. You can play your show here, and I would give you all kind. We got drum, we got bass. I was lying, obviously.
Right.
Jake was one of the guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we had a show the next night. I was on drums. Like bonk, 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 bonk. Jake was like, nee, 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 nee. Like we just.
You guys had no clue what you were doing.
No, none of us could play instruments. And David Cross was like, yeah, we're totally rocking. Yeah. That's hilarious. At one point, we did a sketch that was purely spontaneous. I bought a racist mask with like long Fu Manchu things and like chinky eyes. And I'm trying to buy like a watch in a market in Shanghai. And the guy's like, oh, you got to pay like $20. And I'm like, oh, I get what's happening because I'm gaijin, right? I'm a fucking white guy. So you're going to give me the white prices. Yeah, I know what's happening here. Fuck you. And then I go around the corner. I put on the racist mask, but I put the like hat back on in the jacket. So I come back and I'm like, like with big buck teeth. The guy was funny enough to get the bit with no introduction. And he gives me a total crazy rebate on it. And then I buy the watch for like $2.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because he was funny enough to understand. I didn't know Chinese people could be funny, but wow. We did like 100 of those dumb sketches. And Shane kind
filmed all
of
this?
kiboshed it. It was Vice. You're asking me about pre-video when I was there.
This is pre-video.
Pre-split when I was there.
Right.
Yeah, we did tons of stuff. I mean, I was the head of Vice TV. I was in charge of that. We did a pilot with Johnny Knoxville and a pilot with David Cross. You know what's funny about Johnny Knoxville? Those guys have ball flicking in their like DNA.
Yep.
So you'll be at MTV talking to Brian Green, or not Brian Green, the fag I talked about earlier, or some like major player at Comedy Central. Jeff Tremaine, Johnny Knoxville, all those guys, when they're like waiting in the hallway for a meeting, they're all like this at all times.
They're always covering their balls.
Covering their balls. Like it could be a funeral.
Yeah.
It could be like, we could be meeting the president, getting the Congressional Medal of Honor, and they'd just be like waiting there because they flick fucking balls.
Oh my God. It's just in their DNA now to always protect their balls.
One time I was with Knoxville and Jeff Tremaine at that Lemmy bar in LA, Hollywood Bowl, whatever it's called. Anyway, Tremaine, Steve-O leaves his phone on the bar, and Tremaine picks it up. He starts calling his ex-girlfriends, Steve-O's, and he does a perfect Steve-O. And he's like, hey, I miss you so much. I'll pay for your fucking Uber. Get down here. I want to be with you so bad. And Steve-O was on a date. So as he comes back from the bathroom, like all these exes start appearing.
Oh my God.
Dude, those guys are advanced.
Is that how Spike Jonze got into the whole Vice loop?
Yeah, that was me.
Through you.
Spike Jonze got into the Vice loop. I saw Adaptation. And I go, we went to a premiere. And I go, that's the greatest film ever made. I connected.
Adaptation, I've never seen that.
Oh my God. It's in my top 5.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't want any spoilers, but there's a scene where, what's her name? Meryl Streep or something. She's on a porn site because her boyfriend filmed her. And I go, Spike, greatest movie I've ever seen, but why would Meryl Streep's character accept being on a porn site? That's not her personality. Like the women who are okay with being on porn sites have like neck tattoos and they do crack. They're not like classy broads. And it bothered him a lot. He was like, fuck. You should always, guys, if you're watching, screen all movies through me. I will tell you. I will tell you the whole in the plot. But then I felt like Shane and Eddie, they kind of like stole Spike from me.
Oh, really?
They didn't even like Adaptation.
Huh.
And then they started Vice Film, which, yeah.
So when you guys started courting those VC companies.
I love that word. Courting.
Yeah.
We bought Viacom flowers and chocolates.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh.
Actually, you want to know courting? Back in the newsprint days
Yeah.
in Montreal, the record labels were the only people advertising in like weeklies. We were monthlies, but whatever, right? Like think of the Village Voice. That's
Right.
what we were. These record labels were like, we want to hire women too. I'm a dude, so I'm too busy like getting CDs to the customer and signing bands and doing real shit. There's a woman here. We got to give her a job. How about you just buy ads in newsprint shit? So our bosses, in a sense, were these women. And they were fucking cougars. And I think one of our coworkers, like peers, they had a graphic design firm called Heliozilla. And they're like, have you ever noticed that the only way we could move ahead is to fuck these 40-year-olds? And I'm like, yeah, that seems to be an issue. And he goes, they're fucking cougars is what they're. I think he copyrighted the word, didn't copyright. I think he invented the word cougars. But anyway, Shane was our sales guy. And the poor guy had to eat out these 40-year-olds when we were like 22. And we always said back then, we ate our way to the top. And I don't know why this stuck with me so much, but before I hated Shane, I loved him. And he told me about some chick he went to dinner with, and she was a cougar, and she ran like Universal.
What did you say?
No, I said Asian American.
Oh my God!
Did you hear? You're racist.
Yeah.
Do you hear when people say Asian?
Unfucking believable.
That's sad. I feel sorry for you. So anyway, they're having dinner together, right? And can you see my hand?
No.
Okay. Can you see my hand
Yes.
now? So they're having dinner together. She's eating, not looking at him. They all have short hair, by the way, which is...
What?
If you're fucking a woman from behind and she has short hair, you're looking down at a 12-year-old boy. I got into bed with a lady. Now I'm a 12-year-old boy. You me. That's why I would say to ladies, fucking grow your hair out. I don't care how thin and gross it is. Grow it up. But anyway, so they're at dinner and they're eating and her hand is on the table and she goes like this. You know what that means?
What does it mean?
Put your hand in my hand. I don't know. Is that the Holocaust? Like,
What?
that's the worst thing I've ever heard. And to this day, if anyone goes like this to me, I'm like the Hulk. I just go, choo, and I start killing everyone in the room. Like, and he didn't want to be there. She showed up in a limo, picked him up. Am I nuts? Does that sound revolting to you? Maybe I'm nuts.
It sounds weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you had to
Like,
be
imagine you're fucking a woman who's old and ugly, and you don't want to fuck her, and you're at dinner with her, and her business is contingent on your business's success, and she decides to Harvey Weinstein you. We were Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
And it wasn't me, it was mostly Shane.
Right.
But to go like, that's worse than Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least Harvey was like, blow me and I'll get you in a movie.
Right.
Did he ever go like,
just calling you over like you're just like, she's
give
some
me your hand.
loyalty.
Give me your hand. Give me your hand. Ugh.
How about, have you seen what Candace Owens is doing with Harvey Weinstein? She's vindicating him.
I just saw that today, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Is that old news?
No, I think she's been going at this for months now, but apparently he got me too. Apparently he's innocent.
I agree. Very unpopular opinion.
I love how fast you were to agree to
Hope
that.
this doesn't get me canceled. Harvey Weinstein did nothing wrong.
Nothing.
He said, suck my dick and you can be in a bunch of movies. What would happen if Harvey said that to you? You'd be like, no thanks. Guess I won't be in a ton of movies. Not on my radar, thanks.
Oh God.
Marissa Tomei was like, he said if I don't fuck him, I won't be in movies. Okay, get another trade then.
Yeah, it's not like
I feel
he's
the
holding
same
a gun.
way.
It's not like he's holding a gun to your
I feel
head.
the same way about P. Diddy. He me 37 times. Oh my God, that's horrible. What kind of cage were you in? Oh, no, I would go home and then I would come back for the next. Okay. What did the police say? Oh, I didn't go to the police. Okay, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. And this is where it gets real controversial. Jeffrey Epstein couldn't care less. Now, if you find a 12-year-old...
Jeffrey Epstein couldn't care less.
I couldn't care less about
Epstein you couldn't
Island.
care about Jeffrey Epstein?
Don't give a shit. Now, if you find me a prepubescent girl that was there against her will, by all means, I want to murder everyone involved with an M16 and bury them under the fucking jailhouse.
Yeah.
But like a voluntary 17-year-old, well, I'd like to beat up her dad. But all these post-pubescent sex party shit, I think it dilutes the actual child trafficking children.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
are
sure.
being shipped all over America right now to the tunes of hundreds of thousands.
Well, it was that with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. They were shipping over like 12-year-olds.
Okay, if I looked that up, I couldn't find it. But show me a 12-year-old, and now I'm mad.
Jean-Luc Burnel, the fucking the French modeling agency guy, was shipping over 12-year-olds to Epstein Island. And,
Okay,
and like
I'm
young
in.
girls.
You show me a 12-year-old, I'm in.
Did you see
All
that-
I've seen is 17-year-olds.
Did you see that
And
one
I don't,
witness?
Like, you know how many fucking 17-year-olds the Beatles fucked?
Oh my God, that's so funny. Have you seen? I'm sure you've heard all the songs, right? What's the Kiss song? Christine,
Yeah.
16.
Sexy and 17, the Beatles. There was a girl.
There's a Rick James song too.
There was a very hot Puerto Rican girl that Jimmy Page kidnapped. I will concede she's one of the prettiest women I've ever seen. Big fucking fat lips. But David Bowie fucked her. She was 14 at the time. Led Zeppelin fucked her. Jimmy Page kidnapped her. And she's in a book called Groupies. I don't like that. It's not at the top of my priority list because it was voluntary, but I want to focus on fucking children. There's children. There's 350,000 missing children from
Right.
Biden's. Let's focus on that, please. And I'm dubious of all this Weinstein, Epstein, Diddy stuff where you're just like, there's sexual transgressions. No. There's adults being gross where like this dumb bitch had to lick cum off some male prostitute's back. Gross, don't want to hear about it. Then there's fucking children.
Right.
Can we focus, please?
Right. Yeah. The Diddy thing is like, who gives a fuck?
I could not.
How many gay orgies
I
he's having.
assumed that was going on. You're rich, you're
Right,
black, you're
right.
probably on the DL. Sure, you're fucking drinking cum off some dude's forehead. I'm actually mad I have to hear about it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a distraction from the real disgusting underage
Yeah, did you see that
child
James
trafficking
O'Keefe
that is real.
scoop?
No.
Some whistleblower who worked at what's it called, H&H, Human HHR. She goes, we kept shipping kids, Mexican illegal kids, to the same address. And we knew that address was a sex trafficking address. And I said to my bosses, and thank God for this woman being brave enough to go to James O'Keefe with this. She goes, I said to my bosses, that's a sex trafficker's house. And they said, yes, I know, but we only get sued if we keep kids too long, which is kind of a Biden thing. We have to keep the machine moving. And she said, sex traffickers don't sue. So if we can keep the kids going to these homes where they get, I'm talking about 8, 9, 10, 11, we don't get sued. So we're good and we're doing our job. This is, again, women in the workforce. Like they get so devoted to their job that they're like, yeah, let's kill some kids. They always say, I'm off on a tangent now, but they always say like, women should rule the world. There'd be no more wars. Yeah, we tried that. It was called paganism. They sacrificed babies and virgins to their stupid fucking grass gods.
Who did?
The pagans, pre-Christianity, like in Ireland and all
Greece
over
and
Europe.
stuff?
Yeah. So I don't want to go back to that.
Well, they sacrificed baby. Even Christians, even early Christians were sacrificing babies. That was just part of the world back then, wasn't it? Human trafficking was like ubiquitous in antiquity.
Are you an atheist?
No, I'm not an atheist.
Okay.
But I'm not a Christian.
What are you?
I'm not really. I'm a
Buddhist.
eunuch.
I'm a Buddhist.
religious eunuch. I'm a
Muslim.
religious. I'm a Muslim. I've had a Muslim.
I
on
hate
the
when
show
they say
before.
Muslim. You were a Muslim?
No, I had a Muslim on the show. What do you call him? A Muslim?
I call them a muzzy.
A muzzy. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not compatible with
You didn't
Islam.
you used to say Jesus was a fat?
I did say that, yes. Not proud of that.
Why?
I was just trying to be controversial.
Oh, you were just trying to.
I was an atheist back then.
You were trying to get people going.
Yeah.
What
I said that on
inspired you
Bill
to say
Maher's
that?
show. I was just trying to be rude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's evidence that Abraham Lincoln was a fag. It's kind of, back then, I was, in media, and what you wanted to think outside the box. Podcasts are gay. I don't know.
Sure. Just trying to get people riled up.
Yeah, you want to say something like Jonathan Swift with his A Modest Proposal, where he said the Irish are overpopulated and they're starving. Let's have them eat their babies. I was just trying to be. I regret it very much, but I was an atheist until my daughter was born. I said this on Joe Rogan's show, which is now deleted, but
He deleted it?
yeah, both my Joe Rogans are deleted. I saw her.
Oh, after the Spotify.
I saw her heel. And the fact that she was a baby, the fact that her little heel, she's 18 now, is going to like change and develop and always be the perfect amount of padding. And that sounds too rational. And then I honestly felt God when I was in bed try to blow me. No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
That's a joke. That's a joke. Don't make my plane crash. No, I was in bed with my wife and I felt God and I woke up my wife and I went, I love God.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a rational.
You woke up.
I woke up
out
in the
of
middle of the
sleep
night
and told your wife you
my
love
daughter
God.
would have been like, this would be like 2007. And I woke her up and I go, I love God. And that's kind of like they always go, how could you prove to an atheist that God exists? You could show them like the Shroud of Turin and all this data, but you really got to kind of feel it. And God was like, I'm here. And I've been...
Because of the miracle of watching your child be born.
I think there were two separate things. One was a rational thing where I saw her heal and I was so impressed with what God has created. But then secondly was purely spiritual and it was God coming in and being, by the way, I'm right here.
Huh.
That's how he talks.
That's interesting.
Hey, dude, I was waiting for you. What took you so fucking long?
So do you go to church every week?
I did. After I got canceled, though, I live in a very liberal neighborhood.
Oh, really?
And when I would bring the family to church, it was all like, you know, it's funny. You hear this. I'm actually biting some of my stand-up, but you hear about black people and they're like, when I was young, they would touch my hair for good luck. And you're like, that doesn't sound so bad, like this. And they go like code switching. I have to code switch where when I'm with my cousins, I'm like, yo, what's up, motherfucker? But when I'm at work, I have to say, hello, how are you?
And
And
so
I'm
when
like,
you went to church, you'd have to code switch.
yeah, we all do that, bitch. And then I realized I'm I'm black in 1945. I'm married to a white woman in 1945. They vandalize my car. They throw fruit at my fucking house. They Sieg Heil me when I'm out with my kids. They ostracize my children, just like the black girl at school that had to be escorted to the school. That's my daughter. Like she was eating lunch alone. And
This is after the whole Proud Boys. This
still
is
going strong since 2018. Yeah. And Anthony Cumia actually made up this joke where I get to my kids' baseball games, like I'll be at one tomorrow, and I can see the liberal whites, disproportionately Jewish, but whatever. And I can see them like, oh God, the is here. and my attitude is like, I'm like a fat black guy in 1939, and I'm just like, I don't want no trouble, all right? I'm like crumpling up my bucket hat. I just want to see my boys' game now. I don't need no trouble. Y'all enjoy your game.
So does your kid not have any friends?
All his friends are black, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you come full circle.
Well, these classist cunt liberals, they're actually racist. So
Yeah.
they don't like the blacks.
Right, exactly.
They're into eugenics and stuff.
It's the horseshoe theory.
Yes. So they've met. So my house is Harlem. And not just my 12-year-old, but my 16-year-old. Blackity, black. Now, they're middle-class blacks who live in a white neighborhood, so it's not exactly like fucking,
Right. But whenever-
what's up, Mr. McGinnis? But I just think it's funny that
They're the ones that don't give a shit.
well, I don't
Is that
think
what
they
you're
read Huffington Post.
Right.
They're like, they work their asses off to
Right.
move to a white neighborhood. So they're like too busy kicking ass and taking names
Right.
to deal with like, what does MSNBC say about Proud Boys? I don't even know if they know I'm a Proud Boy. But it's funny how I get to these baseball games and I can see the parents like, ugh. And I go like 10 feet from them and I just sit there wringing my bucket hat like, I don't want no trouble now. I'm just watching my boys' game now. And occasionally there'll be some like white guy who speaks to Negroes who will come over to me and they'll be like, hey, hey, Gavin. And I'll be like, look, man, you don't need to come over now.
Don't do it.
Don't do it now.
Save yourself.
Yeah. Don't you be wrecking your life. I have a couple guys who own restaurants in town. They're like, you should come by the restaurant. I'm like, no, sir. I don't want to be wrecking your restaurant by being no Negro coming around there eating my fried chicken and
Has
grits.
it made you paranoid?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Has that got eased since when did this whole debacle happen? What, 2001? I'm sorry,
It happened October
2021.
12th, 2018, when I did the parody of Otoya Yamaguchi killing the head of the Japanese Socialist Party, which is on my website, censor.tv.
Is this the talk you did
Yes.
at the Republican?
Just a joke.
Yeah.
But the left was getting a very bad reputation with Antifa and everything. So they needed violence from the right. And I actually got a call from a Jew named Mike, who I kicked out of the Proud Boys for going to Charlottesville. And he goes, dude, they're looking for a photo op tonight. I know I'm out, but they want violence from the right. So here's what you got to do. Bring pillows. And when Antifa attacks you, you'll be in a pillow fight. So the Proud Boys did bring pillows.
Yeah.
That night, there was, like, I've done talks at that place before, the Metropolitan Club, and there was like 0 protesters, and it's always like 100 people. All my shows are like 100 people. Mm-hmm. And this night was like 500 people protesting. They glued the locks. They smashed the windows. They called the old lady who runs the Metropolitan Club and were like, "You're a fucking whore. I'm going to you." Like, and calls
They
from
really
all over
said
the
that to her?
country. Oh, yeah. Calls from all over the country, too. Not New York. And then there was this dude, John. He showed up and he was a journalist. He got the shit beat out of him by Antifa. They stole all his equipment. 12 of them jumped him. Gavin Wax, who now works for Trump, he was there with his buddy, and they go, holy fuck, Antifa's jumping a dude. They grabbed them. They got the cops involved. They arrested 4 people, Kai Russo, Caleb Perkins, Finbar Slonim.
One of those dudes was in the Thomas doc, right?
I don't know.
I think one of the guys that got arrested, he said he was in prison watching the...
Oh, yeah, no, those. I'm getting to those guys.
Oh, okay.
So they arrested all these Antifa dudes. They go to court. Lawyers appear out of the ground like corn when you arrest Antifa. And they're just like, these guys are innocent. Free to go. So we're kept in the Metropolitan Club. They dispersed the crew. All the protesters are gone. And the protesters were weird. They were like a brown turtleneck with a blazer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're from Turkey, dude. You're not American. You've been hired. They had this banner like
Asian
no
provocateurs.
Nazis on our turf. And it was like a big cloth banner that was 100 feet wide, embroidered. What is that? $13,000? How'd you get that together? They're throwing glass bottles of piss at us, which are the P. Diddy Ciroc bottles, which are probably $80 each. I don't fucking know, like the Ciroc. So they must have poured the vodka out and pissed in them, and they're throwing piss at us. So they leave the pillows at the fucking venue because everyone's gone. They go to the subway to go home. Antifa didn't leave. They went around the corner. They flanked them. They jumped the Proud Boys. And they go, you want to go? Proud Boys go, yes. Proud Boys are losing at the beginning. Then the other guys start showing up. They win. A 17-second fight. The cops say to Antifa, do you want to press charges? They go, fuck you, pig. I just got punched in the face like 70 times. Oh, sorry. Like, where were you? And the cops go, okay, well, there's nothing for me to do here. Like, it's mutual combat.
Right.
So the whole thing's dropped. We go out to the bars that night. Max and John are joking about it. And it wasn't even a big deal.
Right.
It would be like me telling people tonight that I did your podcast. Not that it's not a big deal, but like, where were you? I did Danny Jones' podcast. Oh, okay. I wouldn't be like, you guys are not going to fucking believe this. So we forgot about it that night. And next day, de Blasio, fucking Cuomo, everyone is tweeting hate has no place. You know how they always get their little word? Like with fucking Trump in South Africa, the word was ambush, and they all say ambush. So it was hate has no place in New York. They all kept repeating that. Like dozens of tweets from all the top brass in New York. And those guys are yanked into court, 4 years in prison. One of the guys was Brown. We call him Brown David. He's Indian. And he was one of the 3. And they go, you're looking at 4 years with these guys. And he goes, I think you're bluffing. I think you're going to make this whole thing about white supremacy, and you can't use it on me because I'm not white. And you're going to chicken out. So he like all in poker James Bond shit. And they were like, okay, you're free to go.
Really?
He's gone. And John Kinsman's wife is black as black can be. She's not black like Cosby Show black. She's like, motherfucker, what the I love her, but she's like a black woman from the south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
And she told me, because we would go visit them every few months. We drive for like 6 hours there, 6 hours back. And she was like, when I was at court with them, I would go piss and all the cameras, I could hear the cameras. As I walked to the bathroom, I could hear like of John. And then when I came back and sat with him, cameras down. And at one point he was like, get the fuck out of here. One guy from the Daily News, I could look up his name, he gets down on his knees like James Brown and shoots up. So this becomes this. And it's a Sieg Heil.
Oh my God.
And I had my buddies going, dude, why is your boy Sieg Heiling? It's so fucking dumb. I'm like, he wasn't.
Wow. And this is all, so it wasn't until 2021, the January 6th thing, until you got all censored off all the platforms, right?
No, it was that night.
It was in October you got banned.
October 12th, 2018. Banned from Pinterest, MailChimp, Shopify, fucking Australia. I gotta piss.
Go piss.
Here's the thing.
What?
I get that there's like suburban activists, like moms, but as far as the right and the left goes,
Suburban activist moms.
yeah, like they want to terrorize your kids and stuff.
They want to terrorize your kids. Okay.
Yeah. So as far as the right and the left goes, the right has a problem with lack of unity. We're like, oh, you support Israel? Fuck you, you're dead to me. The left has the opposite problem, where they're like, oh, you f some kids? Well, we could work it out. Just try not to do it again. So when I was vilified, when I moved to the burbs during this 2018 shit, like the suburban moms got word from Antifa that I'm a Nazi. And they were like, I got it from here. So it went from like banners on the highway and shit.
Talking into this.
Banners on the highway saying like a fascist lives here.
Yeah.
To like the local moms putting signs on our lawns and signs everywhere. And
Signs in your lawns.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I could do a whole podcast on the insane shit they did. My babysitter, when my kid was 4, my babysitter's parents told her to quit because she's working for fascists. No, sorry. My babysitter's boyfriend's parents told him to tell her to quit. She said no, he dumped her.
Jesus Christ.
They're 17-year-olds. Imagine being like, if I was 17 and my dad was like, I need you to stop dating that chick, Kim. She's a fucking slut, by the way. I'd be like, totally done, Dad. Yeah, she's totally dumped. Anyway, I'm out to see the movies with Kim. Fuck, why do the place that repaired my computer got boycotted into extinction because they fixed my computer, and they're obviously fascists if they fix my computer. So you don't want to put your computer there; they'll get your banking information. Immigrant from Portugal, but
go ahead.
So that was the kind of barrage of attacks.
Yeah.
But it was based on Antifa propaganda.
Yeah.
And these left-wing moms are perfectly willing. So the analogy I would use is New Canaan, Connecticut is a right-wing place. Imagine a family moved, this is about 20 minutes north of me. Imagine a family moved to New Canaan and the Nazi skinheads were like, these guys are lovers, they're fucking race mixers, put signs on their lawn and ostracize their children's. And the children's, and the conservatives' moms in that neighborhood were like, got it. Thanks, Nazis. We're on it. So the weird thing is like Antifa and suburban moms, yes, we're on the same page. Let's work together. Whereas Nazi skinheads and fucking conservatives hate each other's guts.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they should like each other, but the level of unity on the left is fucking bizarre.
Well, I mean, there's no Nazi skinheads.
Well, I'm being hyperbolic, but yeah, any kind of like Groypers, for example. I should say, okay, Groypers. If Groypers told New Canaan moms that this neighbor's a bad neighbor, New Canaan moms would be like, who the fuck are you? You're into frogs? Get out of my face.
Right. Yeah, the whole thing is strange. It's like, it seems like every couple of years, the whole thing just morphs and shifts into something else. It seems like even the whole idea of right and left is constantly fucking changing, it seems like.
Well, yeah, but let's not oversimplify it. What's really happening is the whole centrist thing is moving to the left. And if you have Obama and the Clintons' politics of 2004, you're a radical right-wing lunatic.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're left to center on any normal spectrum. Mm-hmm. So they just keep pushing it farther left. And I think what's happened I'm going to go back 2 months. Post 2 months is you moved the Overton window too far to the left. You're fucking insane. We're not joining you anymore. That might be a bad use of Overton window. You move the political spectrum too far to the left, and we have nothing in common with you anymore. Look at who the left has to offer. I don't know where you are on the political spectrum, but I look at like AOC, Bernie Sanders, Ilhan Omar, like Gavin Newsom, absolute fucking clowns.
Yeah. There's definitely a void. There's a gap there that needs
and they
to be
think
filled.
it's Joe Rogan. They're like, why are we so unpopular? Probably because Joe Rogan controls the young people's brains. No, dude, Joe Rogan was a lefty, by the way. You ruined your brand, and he moved over to our side barely.
Yeah.
The reason that everyone hates you is because you have no policies, you have no views, you just have fucking radical weird losers who hate white people.
It's like a fake puppet show. And what was I gonna say? I was explaining the
No, I was talking about unity on the left versus disunity on the right.
I remember what I was gonna say now. Wild idea. Imagine if the left was able to get Candace Owens to move over to their side, and they fucking made Candace Owens their leader and ran Candace Owens.
She's
as
too
president.
radical. She's way too radical.
It would be a smart move, though, wouldn't it?
Sure. Good luck with
Now
that.
with her going against Ben Shapiro.
When she's saying things like Macron's wife is male, which she may very well be.
Yeah.
You might be right on that. But she's Alex Jones. She's a very outside the box chick where you go, that's the stupidest, craziest thing I've ever heard. And then you look it up and you're like, meh. That's actually pretty true. I discovered her, you know.
You discovered Candace?
I discovered Candace Owens.
Really?
And then I became a pariah as she was moving up. I tried to get her on my show, and she said no. And then when I started my new website, censor.tv, I had some investors where they go, let's get right and left talking again. And I go, dude, I tried, but okay. How much money you got? They go, well, let's spend $100,000 trying to get the left to talk. So I got Cornel West.
I watched that. That was great.
Yeah, I got, and Candace also, none of the right people charged me money. Michelle Malkin was like hotel and plane. Ann Coulter was hotel and plane. Candace was like, how about $15,000? And I was like, well, I did discover you, but okay. You know we're never speaking ever again. And I never spoke to her ever again.
What year did you guys film that?
The Candace Owens one?
The Candace Owens Cornel West one.
I'm going to say 3 or 4 years ago. You want to know a secret about that?
Yeah.
While the cameras were off, Candace was like, we have a problem. I think, I'm paraphrasing here, but I think she may have said, we have an IQ problem. Talking about blacks. That's paraphrasing, but it was something like that. And then Cornell goes, yes, but you get one of these brothers in front of a soundboard and he just makes absolute magic.
Oh, that was in the show. I remember that.
That made it to the show?
That part, the IQ part wasn't in there.
The IQ part didn't get in.
But he said something about, along the lines of getting in the sound studio.
I kind of agree with him in that, like, it's terrible to say, it's white supremacy to say whites are better at systems and blacks are better at other things. But they got some of the coolest shit that they're good at. Music, jazz, rap, whatever, sports.
Yeah.
Those are very cool things. What are whites, and the argument is this is white supremacy. What are whites arguably genetically better at? Systems. That's not cool. That's like being a woodchuck or a beaver. Like, we're better at making sure these mics work. Is that really, am I allowed to have that? I can't have that? Like, for example, I'm on the plane on the way here this morning, and the fucking announcements are so relentless. It took all my willpower not to go, shut up! Like, we are coming through with a cart. All right, can I wait till the cart shows up? Fasten your seatbelts. No smoking. Did you know that? You can't smoke. Really? I thought it was 1972. And I could just sit here smoking away with my little ashtray.
It's so funny. They still have the fucking signs there. They have to tell you,
Dude,
no smoking.
it's 40 minutes of announcements, and they're fucking loud. And I felt like if there's a white man in control of that scenario, he'd be like, guys, the announcements are getting a little abrasive. Let's take it down a notch, okay? No more announcements.
If a white man were in control,
if a white man were in control of the announcements on a plane, this is one of my most controversial views, we'd get like a tenth of what we get. They repeat themselves too. We're going to coming by with a JetBlue card. You said that. All right. You said that. And I think that white men are good at going, all right, no more coffee in the front room. It's blocking people when they walk in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Dumb shit like that. Dumb system stuff. But they've been kicked out of those jobs. So now the lunatics are running the asylum, and we have 40 minutes of fucking announcements. And that's also why you see people getting canceled, because they get a call that a racist is working at Arby's, and there's some woman there is like, uh-oh, I better bring this up to HR. And HR is a woman, and she's like, okay, fire him. But like a Clint Eastwood type of man would go, yeah, that's not what we're doing. That's ridiculous. Anyway, get back to work.
Right.
So the fear of white supremacy has led to whites abdicating their throne as good at systems guys. And systems are suffering, and we're in a competence crisis now where complex systems are falling apart, and no one knows how to fucking run an airplane anymore. So let these guys back at the helm. And the other problem with systems is politics is a system.
Right.
So white men should be disproportionately represented in politics. Sorry. We're just good at it. It's not cool. Politics is like taxes, capital gains tax, estate tax.
Right.
You know, what borders should be where, interest rates. I don't know why I have to
Boring
feel bad about being good at this boring shit. You can fucking slam dunk. Run with that.
Right.
Asians, they're great at duplicating white systems and making a car better than the car we made. That's cool. But yeah, white males have to be ashamed of systems. And
I think that's going away, though. Don't you think that's starting to, like I said earlier, don't you think this whole blaming it white supremacy for everything was white supremacy is the problem? You paint everything with white supremacy, that broad brush is like, it seems like there's like a cultural shift happening.
You're absolutely right.
It seems like more people are.
But take a sock the size of this building and fill it with sand.
Okay.
And there's people at the front of the sock being like, we fixed this, and they're marching forward, and they're doing a great job. You got 50 foot of sand sock dragging through the parking lot. You got Hollywood leftist comedians.
Yeah.
Like, the end of that sock, Trump's gone, by the way, in 1,000 days. The end of that sock, I don't know. Are we going to get it through the fucking, the finish line before Trump's gone?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I did the math the other day. So Biden let in 12 million. Trump has about 1,300 days left. 12 million divided by 1,300 is 8,000. We need to deport 8,000 a day to get rid of the illegals that Biden brought in. We still have the 30 million that were there before Biden started opening the gates. So to get back to zero is 8,000 a day.
Well, we started deporting the protesters at the universities now. If you're protesting
that's
Israel,
one.
you
Okay,
get deported.
We got one.
Do you think that's a good thing?
Yes, I'm an
Really?
Islamophobe.
So you think if you protest, if you're it's not only
I'm an
Islam.
Islamophobe and a hypocrite. I'm done with being consistent.
Okay.
I stole this from Jim Norton. No more consistency for me. They're not being consistent, so I'm not consistent anymore. I'm a free speech absolutist if it's my kind of free speech. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but I'm kind of not. Like, we're at war with Islam.
We're at war with Islam?
Yes, absolutely.
The U.S.
No, the Christian world, the West.
The West is, how is the West at war with Islam?
Because Christianity is on the decline and Islam is on the way up. And that's bad. So
how is Islam on the way up?
Numbers. I mean, the world was 2/3 Christian, 1/3 Islam.
Yeah, what is the number there?
Flipping.
What is the breakdown between Muslims and Christians in the world?
They're about to beat us.
There, yeah.
And their religion is archaic. They put women in garbage bags.
Yeah, but why do you think they hate Christians?
They hate everyone.
Don't you think they
Convert or die?
Don't you think they hate the most extremist Muslims are the one they got
Dude,
that way
all
because
extremists.
of all the intervention that
You know how
we've
many
been going over there
Muslims think suicide bombing is sometimes or often justified? 1 in 4.
Really?
Yeah.
You really think that's true?
Dig it up, boys. In places like Pakistan, it's
How
going to
did
be
they
like
come up with that stat? They interviewed
the question on the questionnaire is: do you think suicide bombing is sometimes or often justified? And of course, CNN will trip over themselves to explain that question. But my other big problem is with the moderate Muslims. Like, why are you not out there criticizing radical Islam? And little side note I forgot to mention.
There are.
When Max and John were doing that shit and they made John look like he was Zeke Heiling, where was the right-wing media? Where was Daily Wire? Where was Breitbart? Where was New York Post? Mm-hmm. Where was any right-wing media going, these guys are getting railroaded? They just avoided it like the plague. So fuck them, fuck you, not you.
Yeah.
And to go back to the moderate Muslims, like, when you need to speak out about radical Islam. I think if there's a terrorist attack, like the West Side Highway or whatever you want, you deport every single person in that guy's family, the cousins, everyone. And that way, when you hear Rakata Malata Mashan talking about, bombing the Boston Marathon, you expose him because you don't want to go back. That's what they do in Russia. They deport everyone remotely involved with the attack. And that's the only way we're going to get moderate Muslims on our side, because the only way to fix Islam is to get the moderates with us. We can't fix it. What are we going to do? Tell Osama bin Laden he's a jerk? Is he still around?
He might be. Some people probably believe he is.
I hope he's okay. I want to do a book reading.
You were in New York City on 9/11, right?
Yeah. That was rough.
What was that like?
Well, we're starting a whole new podcast, but one of the weirdest things was my black friend, Derek, pretended his mother was in the building.
Pretended?
He lied. It took me 10 years. I was walking down the street and I was like, oh, he was lying. I'm not 100% positive, but it's...
Yeah.
The problem with having Scottish parents is they're so honest that when people lie to you, it takes you like 10 years to go, wait a minute. Because he told me she was doing photocopies on her like top floor of the World Trade Center. Mm-hmm. Photocopy machine broke, so she went downstairs and went across the street to a Kinko's, and she saw the building collapse from the Kinko's where she was doing her photocopying. And her purse was on her desk still. And I'm like, oh, are you okay? And then I went, wait a minute, there's no... Lower Manhattan is so fucking densely packed that your GPS doesn't work.
Right.
The satellite can't find you.
Right.
There's no like bay window where you're doing photocopies just watching buildings collapse. But I fell for that. But anyway, it was a fucking intense day. We saw it. We thought it was a fire, obviously. I was with Andrew W.K. You ever heard of him?
Of course.
The night before, we're doing karaoke, Matt Sweeney. And Andrew W.K. went back to where he was staying in Brooklyn with his guitarist, Jimmy something. I forget the guitarist's name. But he was watching it on his TV. And he goes over to Jimmy's bed and he's like, dude, you got to wake up. The fucking World Trade Center's been attacked. And Jimmy goes, Andrew, what the fuck do you expect me to do about it now? And Andrew was like, I guess nothing. And then Jimmy went back to bed. Snored away. So Andrew watched it by himself. But I was with who's now my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. and it went from fire to collapse. I didn't see the first plane. I definitely saw the second plane with my own eyes. Conspiracy theorist, absolutely.
Oh, you don't like the conspiracies?
Well, I actually, that's a whole other Pandora's box. I was always like, look, it's Muslims, terrorism, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then, not even COVID, but I think a lot of intelligent adults are like, well, I'm open to everything now. Not flat earth, but I'm open to like, they knew it was coming and they let it happen. I believe that's what happened with Pearl Harbor, Gulf of Tonkin or whatever, if that even happened.
Yeah.
October
Kennedy?
7th. I think Israel allowed October 7th to happen. They'd had enough of this pit bull next door
They wanted an excuse.
barking at their fucking kids when they came home from school, and they let the gate open and they let the pit bull bite one of the kids so they could kill the pit bull. I could be wrong, but that's what I believe.
I've noticed that people. This is a little theory that I have, and I was just talking to the dude who wrote The Looming Tower, that became a show. His name's Lawrence Wright, but he. I have this theory that basically like the people that were closest to 9/11, that were like there on the day or had family members that were in the building or like were super emotionally connected to that event, are the ones that are like allergic to any alternative theories.
That
on
was
9/11.
definitely the case.
Yeah. And the people that are more disconnected, who live maybe on the opposite side of the country or who were born later, they're the ones that are more open to like, ooh, there was fucking bombs.
But that's also, that can be a fault, where they're like, there's no way the second plane went in. There's no way there was any planes. And I'm like, no,
yeah,
I
retarded.
saw the fucking second plane.
Yeah.
I saw the first plane, and I saw them collapse. My whole thing with 9/11 was, I wish George Bush had said, we're starting to rebuild the World Trade Center on September 12th. Does that shirt say Gavin? Oh, David. We rebuild it, and then my goal would be for British people to go, there's no way that ever happened. I mean, they've taken the bricks and they've done carbon dating, and those bricks were the same bricks that were there in 1950. So the whole, and that's good.
It's a great accent.
Thank you. I like that, because I want the terrorists to go, fuck, these people don't even think we did that. Because right now it's this, when you have like a bug in your eye and you twist a napkin and you're like, that's what it looks like now. And it was $13 billion over budget. It was like 10 years past due date. So it's a giant testament to our incompetence and the effectiveness of a terror attack that cost 50 grand. So it is a beautiful shrine to Islamic terrorism and how incredibly effective they can be. I mean, that's their Mecca. They should go there and pray at how awesome they are. That wasn't my idea. I want a new, and I said that to a fireman once, and he's like, you want your fucking kid working in there? And I go, I don't care if it's a silo for rice. I don't care if we store used computers there. I don't care if it's populated. I just want it to exist, because it's a symbol that you can't, as the suicidal tendencies would say, you can't bring me down. But apparently we can be brought down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a lot of things were true at the same time. I think we definitely wanted an excuse to go into the Middle East. And I think obviously there's a lot of shit that came out with like not Israeli, but the Saudi intelligence people were here. Like they knew that there were Saudis here learning to fly. Didn't give a fuck about learning how to
You want to
land.
hear something crazy? Joe Biggs, who was a Proud Boy at January 6th, his father-in-law was at the training camp for the terrorists.
Which training camp?
The flying school for whatever, one of those towelheads who did it.
Yeah, there was one down here in Sarasota.
And he was like, I got a bad feeling about this guy. Whatever.
Yeah.
My instincts are probably wrong.
Right.
And he's not feeling bananas about himself since then.
Yeah.
But I think my theory, and I could be wrong, that's the beauty of I'm glad that we're all skeptical. That's a good place to be. But my theory is that, the World Trade Center had been attacked before. They lost like 2 security guards. And I think George W. Bush it was passed on from Clinton, and he said, there's this guy, Osama bin Laden. He's probably going to attack the World Trade Center, probably like kill 4 people and have a little fire. And then we can go destroy the Middle East for 10 years. And he's like, let's do it. And then when he's reading that children's book, someone went up and was like, it actually ended up being like 3,000 fucking people. And he's like, Wow. Okay. So not 3. That is a lot more than I had bargained for.
Right.
Holy shit. And then we had a retarded war for
Yep.
forever.
Yep. And I was thinking about the right and the left. They both want these retarded wars. They're both complicit in these never-ending
right and
wars
left,
and funding
like
it. Like it's like
politicians,
you call it a uniparty, right?
Netanyahu would love a war in Iran. All these rhinos would love a war in Iran. Like it's hard to think of politicians who don't want global wars. Ron Paul, J.D. Vance, maybe. Like there's 3.
And you would think like comparing Islam to Christianity, like these other countries, these Middle Eastern countries, they are all bound together by this. You got to piss? You got to fart? Oh, wow. God damn.
That was a joke. I have like a fart machine in my pants with a microphone, and I push the button.
Oh, really?
It sounded like a fart, right?
It sounded just like a fart.
Yeah. That's a lot of
It
technology.
smells like roses too.
That's $1,000. Oh, it sprays out a fake fart smell.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. $1,200 that cost me. And the fart juice, the packets, are $800 each.
Really?
Yeah.
Where do you buy them?
From my ass.
From your asshole.
Sorry. What were you saying?
I forgot. Oh,
The warmongers.
Muslim. Well, the Muslim countries, they're all bound together by they all subscribe to the same ideology and religion. In America, it's not like that. It's more fractured. It's not the I don't know I would be curious to know what is the breakdown of religions in America.
Buchanan really red-pilled me on this in his book Death of the West, which came out the same year as 9/11. And he's like, how the fuck do you fight someone where death is a victory?
Yes, exactly. That's
Like
the thing.
we see coffins with American flags and it breaks 100% of Americans' hearts. I don't care if you're left-wing, right-wing. You see those coffins come out and you go, the Arab world sees that and they're like, fucking nailed it, dude.
We don't have any people that are so devout in their religiosity or their faith that they're willing to strap a bomb to their chest.
Correct.
They do.
Yep. How do you fight that? And we have uniforms.
Well, are you aware of like Peter Thiel?
I know him.
You know, you're friends with him?
I had breakfast at his house. I almost shit my pants.
Gay Christian billionaire.
Yeah.
And he is like hardcore Christian, where he's now, there's articles about this that have been coming out, where he's holding these giant conferences in Silicon Valley, bringing all these folks in Silicon Valley in and just preaching Christianity and trying to paint everything Silicon Valley is doing now with like this Christian lens.
Fantastic. Is that bad? You don't like that?
I don't think it's bad or good. I just think it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, think of how many
Because
guys
Silicon
go to
Valley is-
prison and their lives are shit, and then they start reading the Bible out of boredom.
Yeah.
And they get their whole fucking lives together. My brother wasn't in jail, but he was lost, and he started getting into the Bible, and his marriage is fucking rock solid now. He's making money. So I think the best way to save someone is the Bible. It's a great way to go. And you see these people who eschew it, and they're like, we're having sober October. Yeah, that's Lent, dude. Oh, we're meditating.
Do you do the thing?
That's church.
Do you do the thing on your show where you paint the cross on your forehead, like the guys on Fox?
Yeah, I get
do?
my ashes every Lent.
Yeah.
And then I don't drink whiskey or I don't drink hard liquor for Lent.
Wow.
But I found a hole in the plot. You're allowed to have it on Sunday. So I sit there looking at my watch on Saturday night, and when 11:59 rolls around, fucking Maker's Mark, blah, 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 and just get hammered from 12. I usually pass out by 12:10 because my immune system's down. But yeah, I do Lent. It's great. And
Yeah.
what's great about Lent is it shows you what you're addicted to.
Interesting.
Or no fap, right? No wanks.
Yeah.
These
You're
guys
not
are-
allowed to jack off, right? You're a Proud Boy.
Right.
So you don't jack off ever.
Well, I may have fallen from grace once or twice, but the rule is you can ejaculate within a yard of your significant other,
A yard.
a yard, with her consent. So you can't jerk off while your wife's asleep. But say she's pregnant or menstruating, she could reach over and tickle your balls and you jerk off. You're still establishing a connection.
Ah, right. I see.
But jerking off to porn is demonic. That woman,
Definitely not healthy.
that woman was raped by her father and her uncle. The guy she's fucking is gay. They're
Why?
both. That's just a fact.
Really?
The men in
guys in gay porn or guys in porn?
guys
are
in
gay?
straight porn are gay.
Really?
Yep.
Ron Jeremy is gay?
Oh, well, that's a different generation.
Oh, okay.
Modern porn. They're all on meth. And the analogy I always use, they're all meth. Yeah. That's how they last so long. So imagine a gay meth head was banging the victim of sexual assault on the road outside right now. And like 30 dudes just showed up going, oh, yeah, you like that? Yeah, you probably like that. Isn't that the most horrific thing you can conjure up outside of child?
I don't think they're on meth though.
They're on meth, dude.
Yeah, you've done Adderall. Adderall gives you like little like baby hard dick.
Yeah, until you start fucking. Then it's a coconut smasher. Ask anyone. Ask anyone. But that's Adderall. Ask
Same
anyone.
thing with Coke. Coke may gives you like
Different. No. Coke, you're not getting it up. Meth, they fuck for days. That's AIDS, by the way. AIDS is from meth. Because these f***s will fuck for 40 hours straight. And I know a homo that got AIDS from that at a circuit party on meth. And I'm like, I go, what happened there? And he's like, oh, we fucked. It was like 36 hours of straight fucking. I go, Craig, if two praying mantises went like this for 36 hours, their bug dicks would be shredded.
Yeah.
Like go like this for 36 hours.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a pustulant hole in my face with like blood leaking out. It's not natural.
no.
But yeah, that's all part of, they're on meth. Meth is a fuck drug. You didn't know that?
I had no idea.
Meth is for fucking.
I know that Nazis did a lot of meth.
Yeah. Well, they fucked the Jews pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah. But then they ultimately lost the war because they blitzed and they fucking ran out of meth and then they all were like ramped up for weeks and then all of a sudden the meth ran out and then they were all
Well,
like,
we
oh,
killed
fuck
them.
that.
We killed, well, it's the Soviets, I guess, won. Stalin won that war. With just sheer numbers.
Yeah.
This Magic Mind gives you a real grassy aftertaste for a while, right?
It does taste like kind of like grass, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you can wash it down with the beer and then you won't taste it.
Okay. My fucking daughter,
I love cans.
I started wearing my clothes. So I put on my windbreaker, my Barracuda Harrington, and I'm on the plane. I'm like, what the fuck is... And I smell like a teenage girl. I've got her dumb like teen perfume all over me. That's not a great story. And then she died this morning. I know you thought that story sucked till the ending, right?
Did you drink on the plane this morning? Did you start drinking early? No?
No, I got here at like 11. Great bar next door. I walked in. As I told you, they gave me a shot. And then the beauty of Proud Boys is no matter where you are, it can be in Timbuktu, and you're like, hey, guys, I got 4 hours to kill and I'm bored. 4 trucks show up and guys are ready to rock.
Uh-huh.
It's the best, especially in Florida. There must be a chapter every 100 yards here.
Really?
Yeah.
You get a
Florida's-
chapter close to here?
Yeah. 5 minutes from here.
5 minutes from here?
Yes.
No way.
It's great.
Do you think you'll ever get your social media back?
Absolutely not.
Never.
And I've talked to insiders
It's
that,
crazy that you can get banned, but Kanye's on there.
right, well, I run a terrorist organization.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you were labeled. But that was by the Canadians labeled
Doesn't matter.
terrorist, right?
Here's the key with life. Everyone is scared of getting fired.
Yes.
Like Jack Kevorkian was killing people, right? He was doing euthanasia.
yeah.
And no one cared. But then he went on 60 Minutes and he bragged. And he's like, I do euthanasia. It's illegal. The FBI was like, dude, you're going to get me fired. It's my job to make sure you don't do that. So he got arrested and put away.
Dreams for security.
Yeah. You can't. And I think most police work is like, if you shoot someone and you drag him into your house, just don't make me look bad. Like if you shoot someone in the back that's robbing your house and they fall in the driveway, I'm going to get in shit because I'm the captain of that particular precinct. But if you like drag them in and you wrestle with them and get blood on yourself, then good. And they don't care what's true or not. Most people just don't want to get fired.
Yeah, that's very true.
So
Except for you don't give a fuck.
I like getting fired. It's become my pastime.
You stay true to your art.
Sure, yeah.
You have.
Well, God has provided me with plenty of guardian angels because I think I'm making up for the fact that at Vice I was like fucking just party and do coke and fuck tons of chicks, and that's a fun thing to do in your 20s, early 20s. And then I had kids and I was like, what the fuck? What a waste. Those party years. Like when you have kids, you go, what was I doing? What a ridiculous pantomime that whole thing was.
Yeah.
And now I've devoted myself to telling guys, put a ring on it, make a baby. What are you waiting for? You want her, but with bigger tits? You've been with her for 2 years, dude.
I have a lot of friends from high school. Most of them, actually, most of my friends. I really don't have many. Most of my friends that are like my real friends, they've been my friends since like 8th grade, and a lot of them still don't have kids.
Yeah,
and they're
me
like
too.
They're pushing 40 now.
I think that is the trauma of divorce. They go, because they always go, I'm glad my parents split up. They're fighting all the time. Yeah, no, you were deeply traumatized by that divorce, and you don't want to mimic it. You don't think love exists. You don't think devotion exists. And you're scared you're going to do to your kids what your parents did to you.
Yeah.
So I don't want to create kids. Why hurt them the way I was hurt? But when we were kids, you'd see the divorced kids and they're like, I got 2 sets of presents, man. I got dad's presents, mom presents.
Yeah.
Sure, that's great when you're 13. But it spreads out. And I swear to God, just like you, I look up my high school friends in the 80s and 50% of them have kids.
Yeah.
That's not good. And people blame the Jews and they go, oh, the Jews have taught us to hate ourselves. Okay, whatever.
Did they really blame the Jews for that?
They blame the Jews for everything.
Yeah.
I think
That's
divorce,
the thing. That's definitely a new thing.
divorce magically traumatized Gen X and down.
Divorce was trauma. My parents divorced when I was really young, and I never wanted kids until my wife hooked me in.
That's what I'm talking about.
I met my wife when it was like the day after she turned 19. And I was like somewhat successful I was like 23, maybe 24.
What were you doing then?
I was doing documentaries, filming documentaries.
Okay.
And like doing advertising, like making commercials and stuff like that. Cause I was like,
we didn't cross paths.
I was like the poor kid who, I was able to convince all my because I had a lot of rich friends, and I was able to convince all of their parents to hire me to make commercials for their companies.
Great.
And so I was making,
and people would go, yeah, he had it handed to him. He knew rich kids. Okay, you go make a commercial for the rich people that he was handed to. You know what I mean?
A lot of the kids, though, a lot of those kids with rich parents, it didn't amount to anything.
Yeah.
But I was making decent money in my early 20s, and then I met her, and I was like, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" She's like, "I just want to be a mom. I want to raise kids." I'm like, "Oh, you fucking loser."
Yeah. Why give away what feminism gave you?
I was like, "You don't have any ambitions. You don't want to have a career. You don't want to be an entrepreneur." Like that's what I was thinking in my head. And then when we had our first kid, and I realized how fucking amazing that was, and how liberating that was to have like somebody who dedicates every fiber of her being to want to create a good human, where I can keep doing my bullshit and not have to worry about it and not have to worry about raising a fucked up, traumatized kid. Then I realized how fucking magical that was.
Yeah, it's been taken away from us by all this bullshit hipster left-wing culture. And you make one and you go, what the fuck was I doing? I'm glad I did coke from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. rather than make a life and go to a kid's baseball game. Like and the coke night, you don't remember 1 second of it. It's gone.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my kids' baseball games, I could tell you, that he didn't get a double because they threw it to home. So it was actually technically a single, though he did get on second. They robbed us of that. And it was boomers mostly.
It was the boomers?
Boomers invented divorce.
So it wasn't the Jews.
Well, this is the problem. Like, Jews are exceptional whites. You look at the Nobel Peace Prizes, you look at the Fields Medal in mathematics, you're going to see a wildly disproportionate number of Jews.
Why is that?
Well, one reason might be in Jewish culture, they value intellectualism, especially Israelis. But like in Arab culture, who's the toughest guy? You get the hottest chick. This is kind of true of Glaswegian culture too, where my parents are from. Because my dad got a really hot wife because he was a brawler. But in Jewish culture, it's you're an academic, so you'll meet like a rabbi or a really smart Jew, and his wife will be a fucking smoke show. That's their thing. So what you end up breeding is low T, high IQ people.
Right.
And
That's interesting. Low T, high IQ people.
yeah, and Arabs are the opposite. They're low IQ, high T. Sorry. Which is what's so weird about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Like you have these...
They're genetically the same fucking people.
No,
yeah, they
no,
are.
no. Sure.
There's been a study done. They're literally,
Check their IQs
ancestry
and
is the
check their
same.
testosterone. So a Palestinian will launch a rocket over to the Jew side. And the ideal thing about terrorism is you go like this, and then the people over there discuss that for like a week. That's what terrorism is. I just want to do one little thing and make you all scared for months.
Yeah.
So they'll launch a rocket there, and the Jews are like, well, what did it mean? Maybe we should have said more, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, an Arab, you just fucking like blow their head off, and they're like, whatever, f it, I'll kill you. So they don't pontificate the way the Jews do. And I think we see that with...
Well, that's because of, their low IQ, you think, is because of the inbreeding, right?
I think it's the culture of they don't value intelligence in the Arab world.
Yeah.
They
Different
value
values, for sure.
value machismo.
Different, yeah, there's definitely different cultures, definitely different values, and I'm sure there's been an evolution of the gene pool over the years. But I know there was a study done, like a legitimate study, that proved that their genetics were exactly the same. Like they come from the same people. I think it's the Canaanites.
Yeah, they come from the same people. But look at, like, ask a Palestinian what 111 plus 17 is. and Israelis are inventing pills that have cameras on them where you take it and then you watch your digestional tract. This is why I don't think Israel should receive any more money. And a lot of Israelis are the same way. They're like, we have cell phone technology, we have medical technology. We don't like the stigma of this money. It's only $3 billion. We don't want it. We got our own money going on. Like, Israel's not propped up by America. Israel has got its own shit going on.
Definitely, yeah. But we are sending them billions of dollars for their war. Like we're sending them tons of money
Yeah,
to support
stop.
that.
Stop.
And it's not like online, you see, like you were saying, everyone paints it with like, as in like the Jews are doing this genocide. It's all the Jews. And then you have all these people like Candace and, you know, a whole bunch of people around her on the internet where it's like, there's legitimate on X. There's like a huge fucking, I mean, I hate you calling people Nazis, but like, if you look at these people's profiles, they're hardcore anti-Jews.
I think the real impetus behind that is anti-white racism.
But it's not like, but it's
At college campuses, at least, the whole fuck Israel, free Palestine, that's anti-white racism. There's Sudan, there's Syria, there's a million Middle East conflicts that no one is remotely interested in.
yeah.
Yet when there's a white on brown conflict, all of a sudden they give a fuck about foreign wars. I don't trust you. I think it's and it's just proportionally perpetuated by secular Jews, the whole concept of fuck white people. So you have these anti-white white people, mostly a lot of them are Jews too. The kids are Jews. Like these Jews are sending, these secular Jews are sending their kids to Harvard, Yale, St. Andrews in Scotland. Their kids are coming back going, fuck Israel. So they've created a golem, and I don't think they know what to do with it. And I'm sitting here in my Jewish neighborhood going, you said it was me. You said it was the MAGA hats. It turns out it's not us. Turns out it's your allies, overly educated Marxists, refugees, Palestinians, blacks, all your heroes want you dead. And I've been sitting here just like this the whole time. And you kept putting Nazi signs on my lawn. Wrong, bad guy, fuckheads.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of, I've talked to a lot of Jews. I grew up with a lot of friends who are Jews, and I've had people on here who are literally Jews from Israel who are like, they call themselves anti-Zionist Jews.
Oh yeah,
because they don't agree with the Israeli
No one
government.
understands that too in America. That you read like Israeli press, and it reads like David Duke. There is like there's super conservative Zionist Jews in Israel, but there's ones that want the wall taken down.
Right.
They fucking hate this war. They love Palestine.
Right. It's like
It's
like
much more wide range than here.
Yeah. It's like the war after 9/11, like the Iraq war. Like, I'm an American, but that doesn't mean I want to be associated with Bush Cheney.
Yeah.
Like, those people are.
That's how they see Netanyahu. Got to piss again.
Yeah, that's how they see Netanyahu. Go piss.
Where do you piss? You have a secret pisser?
Yeah,
Whoa, fancy.
I do.
I'm dubious of guys who are really angry at me for liking Jews because they kind of smell like Jews. And every time you like get to the bottom of some
They're
major,
suspicious of you for liking Jews.
yeah, I think they're Jews who are they want to keep their enemies closer. So when you like see a real sting on like a white nationalist group, the leader tends to be secretly Jewish.
Interesting.
Yeah. So don't trust like some super Nazi dude because he wants to recruit Nazis so he can have his Nazis in his pocket and, you know,
Right.
keep your enemies close.
Well, everything's an op nowadays.
Yeah.
Nothing's real anymore.
Dude, fucking, I saw this thread on AI and it wasn't just OnlyFans girls that are making $1 million that don't exist, but like a stand-up comedian going, I went to the zoo and they only had one animal there. It was a dog. It was a Shih Tzu. The guy was fake. The joke was fake. Like everything was fake.
Yeah.
This is actually good news though.
Is it?
Yes.
That everything's
Because
fake.
we become so addicted to our phones and OnlyFans and dating online and then seeing the girl and she's ugly, whatever, that soon people are going to be like, well, fuck the phone. I need to see you. I need to talk to you. Like sales. The old days in the 70s and 80s, a salesman would have to get on a plane, like planes, trains, and automobiles.
right,
and go and like say, this is my Budweiser cans. What do you think? And pitch it.
Mad Men.
Yeah, like, or Chris Farley, right? Like you have to sell it. And now that everything is fake online, Zoom calls, like, no, I need to see you in person.
Yeah.
I need to smell your pheromones and see if you're full of shit.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Tucker Carlson said that to me once. He was talking about some guy we both know, and he's like, that guy's gay. And I go, where the fuck did you get that from? I've known him for 26.
Tucker?
Yeah, 25 years. And he goes, I saw the way he kissed his wife, and I saw the way his daughter looked at him when he kissed his wife. Gay. And Tucker's very funny and raunchy outside of TV.
Yeah.
He's sort of like...
He's like
he's sort of like Dave Portnoy kind of a guy. Like
no, he seems more like a frat boy.
Yeah,
kinda
yeah.
Like a
who's Eastbound and Down?
Kenny Powers.
He's like a smart Kenny Powers.
No, he's nothing like Kenny Powers.
Yes, he is.
He's the fucking opposite of Kenny Powers.
So he goes, that guy's gay. And I'm like, how do you know? And he goes, I saw the way. And I go, that's not evidence, dude. What, he kissed his wife? You saw him for 1 second? And he goes, we've been around for 250,000 years, okay? If someone wants to kill us, we sense it. The ones who can't sense it, they're extinct. So
Right.
we meet people face to face. We have smells. We can tell who wants to fuck us, who wants to kill us, who isn't a threat, who
Yeah.
could be a good pal.
That's evolution.
We're constantly like smelling. We're like dogs.
Yeah.
Smelling people.
That's funny.
So when I say this guy's gay, I'm not just basing it on 1 second. I'm basing it on 250,000 years.
Yeah. Well, Tucker,
And I
that's
was
funny
like,
coming from him because
calm
he doesn't,
down, dude.
He doesn't believe in evolution. He believes that evolution's fake.
In what sense?
I don't know. He said it on Joe Rogan. He's like, evolution? Huh? We believe that?
Well, there's nuance to that, right? Like,
Of course.
there's people who say giraffes have tall necks because the ones with short necks got less food. But then there's the creationists that say God made short giraffes, tall giraffes, super tall giraffes, and these guys died out. I don't know. It seems like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other to me. Can I
Yeah.
get another fucking beer, please?
Yeah, grab another beer.
He's a great guy, Tuck.
Did you see his interview with Putin?
Yeah.
See, I loved the part where Putin was ribbing him about trying to apply for the CIA. He tried to apply for a job at the CIA.
Yeah.
I got a lot of friends who think Tucker is an op.
Maybe. The thing about these ops is...
Everyone thinks everyone's an op on the internet.
Right, but you got to look at what they've done. Like, say Charlie Kirk was a Fed, right? The good he's done for red-pilling young people, I don't care if he works with Satan and goes back to hell every night. Like, we win. He's red-pilled, I'm going to say millions of people, millions of young men. So if you're a Fed, then you're doing a real bad job. And Tucker too. Like the government, the federal government is definitely pro-Israel. Tucker is pretty anti-Israel. He's very Pat Buchanan, paleo-conservative.
Definitely, especially recently.
Yeah.
It's just interesting seeing like his podcast and all the people that are going to his podcast now, and like, you know, he's doing all these like woo-woo topics, like talking about UFOs and like angels and demons and child traffickers. It's like completely like kind of like he's going on a way different road than he was going on when he was on Fox, which is understandable to an extent.
I don't want to toot my own horn.
They're not controlling his own.
But I did say back when he was at Fox, I sent him the data, and the data is people will pay, 7% of the people who watch you for free will pay. I go, you're getting like 3 million views. Yeah. 7% of 3 million is over $100. I don't know the exact math. It's time to, I'm not saying he quit Fox because of me, but I think I helped him realize how, and I got this from Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan said to me, when you have a substantial following, it's stupid not to charge and let other people get rich off you. Like even YouTube. Why are you getting all my fucking money? Right. So if you can get up to like even 100,000 people who want to hear what you have to say, it's time to fucking... Yeah. Like are you just YouTube?
YouTube, Spotify.
So you're like the second they don't like you, which could be this podcast.
This could be it.
This could be the last one.
This might very well be the last one. There's a
sword of Damocles like,
yeah.
I decided no one can hear you anymore.
Right. Right. And if I was like you, I would just not give a fuck and let them ban me. Yeah. But I got kids to feed. I have to
plenty
bend
of
the knee
kids.
to the totalitarian.
I've seen your views. I wouldn't be here if your views weren't good.
Oh, really?
You could pay your bills with a subscription service.
Well, we have Patreon. Have you ever heard of Patreon?
I'm familiar with Patreon.
It's where people go to watch the uncensored shit.
Yes.
You're banned from Patreon?
Of course, dude.
What? I didn't even know that was...
I'm banned from Mondays. When I go to bed at night on Sunday, I wake up, it's Tuesday morning. I have no idea how that happened.
Did all these bans happen on the same day?
Yes, October 12th, 2018.
So they all got together and said, let's ban Gavin.
It was before the midterms. They were looking for, maybe I didn't finish that story. It was before the midterms. They were looking for right-wing violence. Mike told me to bring some pillows. The Jew I fired for being a Nazi. We left the pillows at the studio. 17-second fight. 4 years in prison for Max and John. And I became persona non grata overnight. I was a rock star in the suburbs because in the suburbs, they're all nerds. And they're like, ooh, you're from New York City. Like my kids were all born in New York City. Yeah. So we were all very popular. And then one day my daughter was like eating lunch alone, literally within 24 hours. And you know what's funny about it? They were like, let's say my daughter's name is Margaret, which it isn't. Margaret's dad wants Maria to be deported. Like their fear was their maids. In rich white suburbs, they love diversity of servants. That's why they always go, what, you don't like diversity? You can have Somalian food one night. You can have Mexican food the other night. You can have, so you're talking about a variety of people serving you. Right. It's for the elites. Yes. Diversity. It's a diversity of servants.
Yeah. I think you're totally right about that. You think you and Shane will ever get back together? Be friends again?
Absolutely not.
Never.
Fuck no. No. I mean, it's so extreme. It would be funny. It would be
would be
like
funny.
It would be like Jesus meeting Satan.
Do you ever
this
like
way.
do you ever like think like late at night one day, be like, man, it'd be so nice to just throw the water under the bridge, Budweiser under the bridge.
I sometimes
get
have
back together.
dreams like that, actually. Sometimes I have dreams where Sarush and I and Shane are friends. And then I wake up and go, blah.
Yeah, I only have one friend like that completely burned the bridge, that we never talked to again. We're really close friends, and we actually became not friends recording a podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was the beef about?
The beef was about, we were doing a podcast with a guy who was explaining that he believes racism isn't real. And my good friend from high school,
I kind of believe that. Well, it depends. That's a subjective way to phrase it, but whatever.
he says it doesn't exist in America. There's no such thing as racism in America.
There's anti-white racism.
Is what he was saying.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was explaining how his wife, who is Filipino, her mom wasn't allowed to drink at certain water fountains, back in the day, and there was segregation, like there's Jim Crow, like there obviously has been racism in America in the past, and there sure is absolutely echoes of it today still. And he was like, no, there's not. And they were going back and forth, and then my friend, who was sitting right there, he said, you know what, I can't be here anymore. And he got up and tried to walk away. And then the guy who was sitting here was like, what are you walking away for? I was like, what are you doing? We're just having a conversation, blah, blah, blah. And my friend, who's extremely, artsy fartsy graphic designer, liberal dude, married to a Filipino lady, he was like, no, fuck you. And this guy was like super jacked, like 6'5", ex-military guy.
Like me.
Yeah, exactly.
Same guy.
Yeah. And my friend's standing back there, and he turns around and he goes, fuck you. He said, and the exact thing he called him, I remember it like it was yesterday. He said, you're a fucking backwoods UFO believing piece of shit military asshole. Right in his face.
To the big guy, or the big guy said that to the small guy?
No, my nerd friend said that to the big guy.
Oh my God.
And the big guy got up, threw him to the ground. My friend got into the
Here,
field.
like right here.
Right there. Knocked the camera over.
Is this all on camera?
Yeah, I never released it.
Oh, you got to release it,
No,
dude. That's gold.
I didn't want it. Yeah, it's gold, right? If I wanted the views, I could get them, but I didn't. It didn't
get them.
It felt gross. And he was in the fetal position like this, while this guy's standing over him, about to beat the living fuck out of him. I pulled the big guy off of my friend, and he eventually got out. So me and my other buddy, I forgot to mention, I had my other buddy here. We were all three really good friends from high school. We went and grabbed a 24-pack of beer, went to his house, tried to like talk him down, be like, yo, it's all right, bro. Everything's cool. Don't worry about it, whatever. He calls me, and after that, the next morning he calls me. He's like, hey,
we're done.
We can't be friends anymore.
Yeah.
I
know
can't be
what's going on
associated
here?
with you.
Humiliation. He was so fucking embarrassed. And he's never been in a fight before.
Yeah.
Let me guess. He has no brothers.
He has a big brother, yeah. He has a big brother.
Was the big brother around, or?
His big brother was in prison for like 7 years.
Okay. So was his big brother in his life? Because I've noticed
early
when
on,
you play fight with guys who don't have big
they
brothers,
had a lot of money. They were a wealthy
They get
family.
like real fucking violent.
Right. No, he had never been in like a legitimate fight before. Like that, I mean, you can tell, because if he would have done that to a guy at a bar, he would have got the living shit beat out of him.
Which guy, the wimp or the
wimp?
Big guy.
If you point in some guy who's obviously
you don't say that.
has 100 pounds on you, is like jacked out of his mind on steroids, and is like an ex-military guy, you don't call him a backwoods
101
piece of shit military asshole. You're gonna get curb stomped.
The worst you do with those kind of guys is like, all right, you're the big tough guy. I get it. I get it. Like Jim Norton said to Jesse Ventura. He was like, okay, you're Jesse Ventura. You're the tough guy. Whatever. He wasn't like, what are you going to do, bitch?
Right.
Yeah, he's embarrassed.
But like, I still think about my friend all the time. I'm like, we were like brothers.
Yeah, it's a weird thing with dudes, man, when you split up like that.
Yeah.
And girls, too. It's not like girls don't fucking have a best friend forever that they lose for some weird... Like, my wife lost all her friends because of Proud Boys.
Oh, really?
And she's trauma... Like, she has PTSD now. Like, she's not interested in friends. And I'm like, our neighbors won an auction where we get to go to an Italian dinner together, and they have 4 tickets. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to.
Really get a root canal.
She's happy. She started boxing and stuff.
Really?
So she's her head's screwed on straight. but she doesn't like blowjobs enough, unfortunately. But
Doesn't like giving them.
yeah, well, she doesn't get them. She doesn't have a penis.
Right.
But
That's nice. That's good. It's a
yeah,
plus.
that's one of my favorite things about her. Actually, I write that on our anniversary card. Still loving that you don't have a penis. Those are my pet peeve when it comes to lovemaking.
Oh God, that's fucking funny.
But it is interesting how these couples, these friendships split, and it's never over anything real. I mean, with Vice, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
So it's fair that we want to murder each other. And
I would give up a friendship for $100 million.
I hate those guys. Yeah. But
you got paid out good though.
I
right?
did pretty good.
You were a third of the company, right? And the company was valued at least what, $100 million back then?
Yeah,
at least, probably more than that.
Sure. And I had an ad agency after that made a ton of money. We sold it to Havas, and then with the subscription service, it's 40,000 subscribers paying $10 a month because we merged
today.
With Anthony Cumia. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now he gets half of that, but we do very well with that. But like most of my money just sits in the bank. Mm-hmm. Like my dad offered me his apartment in Florida yesterday because he thinks he's dying, and I'm like, eventually, and I'm like, okay, does that hurt my Is that going to affect my taxes? I'm not sure I want your apartment in Florida.
Well, there's definitely less taxes in Florida than
Being
New York.
dirt poor sucks.
Yes.
But once you get to
it's just as stressful.
over $100,000, we're all basically the same. Like Jeff Bezos is on a fancy yacht. That's great. I don't think you can rent a boat for the day. You can you can spend $1,000 renting a boat. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It would be cool to have a private jet, but you can buy first class tickets.
Yeah.
So I'm not denying that poverty is a bummer, but once you get to my class,
So you could have $1 million and live like you had $100 million.
Well, some of my most prized possession is my 2000 Jaguar. It's an XJR. It's worth $17,000. If I totaled it, Geico would probably pay me $7,000. It's not considered valuable, and I fucking love that thing.
Yeah.
It's the last of good-looking cars before they started turning into cough drops. What
year was it again?
2000.
2000.
Look up that 2000 Jaguar XJR.
Type it in. Let's see what it looks like. What color is it?
Black. All cars should be black.
Yeah.
There it is. That's my babes. I call it Jesus because I totaled it twice.
Black Jesus.
Look at that fucking thing.
Yeah, that thing is pretty sick.
Jaguars look like absolute shit now.
Well, they're all electric.
Yeah. Or even
they have the electric Jaguar that makes the fake sounds, the fake exhaust.
What's worse than that?
It plays the music.
It's like
it plays
Crocs.
the sound effects.
We've uninvented shoes. We're going back in time. Or
Why do you hate Crocs so much?
Why don't you?
Because they're convenient.
Oh my God. Are you washing your boat? If you're not washing your boat, you're not wearing Crocs. At the airport, we're at 70% Croc rate. In the South Bronx with the blacks, this month they hit 100% Croc rate.
Really?
100%. It's Friday night, you're going out with your wife. Not that blacks have wives, but fucking.
Not that blacks have wives. Jesus Christ.
Everywhere you fucking go, blacks are wearing fucking Crocs. And not just blacks, my kids, everyone, they're friends.
I know a guy who's like a 400-pound New York, Brooklyn Jew who now lives in Florida. He has like $500 million worth of real estate. He's like a slumlord. And he's so fat, all he can wear is Crocs. He's so fat.
That's what we hear. Shit, I might have to get the airport, bro.
What time is it? 5:18? Okay. All right, let's wrap it up.
My flight's at
Time's it leave?
7.
7? Okay. Yeah,
I gotta go now.
Okay.
I gotta go now.
Let's wrap it up. All right, that's all. Tell people where they can watch your stuff on YouTube, or not on YouTube, I'm sorry, on your website.
Censor.tv. You cannot watch me on, oh shit, I'm late. You cannot watch me on anything but Censor.tv. That's why I'm there.
Well, you'll be able to watch there's interviews with you on YouTube other people have done, which is nice. At least you're not censored in that way.
Are there?
A few.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Censor.tv. I'll link it.
Thanks for having me, Guy. Great show. Fun times.
Of course. Thanks for coming. Good night, world.